by 3-2. Jorgen Strand Larsen scored 2 in the last 10 minutes of that game. He is on the bench this afternoon, and West Ham have the new signing. Pablo Felipe, the Brazilian striker, is on the bench as well. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, the game is underway. The ball is loose inside the Wolves half. Magassa, the young French central midfielder, is there for West Ham. He plays it back to Mavropanos, who passes across to the former Wolves man, Max Kilman. Kyle Walker-Peters gets on the ball just short of the halfway line, fires it into the feet of Callum Wilson. West Ham have kept it for now. Walker-Peters down the line. Bowen tries the first time ball in field, didn't quite get enough on that to find Wilson. And Santiago Bueno back in this Wolves team for this game. He's coming for Matt Doherty today into the back three, and Wolves have got caught already playing out of the back. Here's Somerville, who's won the tackle, keeps it in down by the byline, plays it back to Freddie Potts. Freddie Potts with a little trick inside the box, went down, looked like a tackle on him. He comes racing back to the referee Peter Banks and thinks he should have had a penalty, and we'll have a good look on the monitor in a second at that. And the VAR today, video assistant referee Timothy Wood, leading the team at Stockley Park, will be interested as well, because it didn't look like the best challenge. We'll just have to wait and see whether there was any contact. In the meantime, Wolves have the ball back. The other 3 o'clock kickoff in the Premier League is underway. That is Brighton against Burnley, as are the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. Jane Lewis will keep us updated on the leaders' Hearts, who are at home against Livingston. Walker-Peters has lost it on the right. Hwang's ball is short. Mavropanos nips in for West Ham. Magassa under pressure. This time he is clipped. He goes down, gets the free kick. Now then, we're waiting to see the replays here, Michael, of the potential penalty shout for Freddie Potts, but the game is back underway. No penalty.
Do you know what? He was convincing, wasn't he, as Freddie Potts just goes into the box. He checks late. Looks like there was some contact, but he sort of lifts his foot. There's a lot of talk this week about whether you should engineer it, whether you should go down. He actually, if he leaves his foot, it's going to be. He's honest, he lifts it up. So there was no contact, but Wolves started poorly, trying to play out between a fast start of the game, exciting. That's what we want. It looks a little bit sort of disjointed, a bit of nervous tension. Mosquera initially giving the ball away. West Ham have started well. Yeah,
Mosquera's given it away again. Really strong challenge from Ollie Scarles to win it for West Ham. They're on the ball inside the Wolves half. Next break in play, I'll take you through the 2 starting 11s for this one. Walker-Peters plays it to the right to Jared Bowen. Poor pass from the West Ham captain. Hwang Hee-chan intercepts and immediately sets off, tearing into the West Ham half. Taking on Mavropanos, beats him, slides the pass into the edge of the box, but couldn't find the centre forward Arakadare. And West Ham have a chance to bring it away. Bowen's run into trouble again, and Wolves are back on the attack. They play it to the left-hand side, approaching the edge of the West Ham penalty area. Challenge comes in from Magassa. Mateusz Mane, the 18-year-old, goes down, doesn't get the free kick. Here's Magassa again for West Ham, chip forward looking for Bowen. Mane kicks it in with a trick, it comes off Magassa, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Wolves. So 3 minutes played. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service this afternoon for your Premier League commentary. We've also got commentary on the leaders Arsenal away to Bournemouth on 5 Live, kicking off at 5:30, and of course the 5th Test match in Sydney. Final Ashes Test gets underway this evening. First ball will be bowled at 11:30. Coverage starts with a Test match special team at 5 to 11 this evening on Sports Extra. Hwang inside the West Ham area, goes on the outside, little cutback, there's the chance, and there's the goal for Wolves. A flying start at Molineux. John Arias gets his first for the club in the right place at the right time. Are Wolves finally on their way to a first league winner this season? Wolves 1, West Ham 0.
Chan started very well down the left-hand side. He was causing problems. Mavropanos couldn't deal with him the first time. The second time, reverse pass. It was the breakthrough by the youngster Mane. He just slots him into the side channel, then the ball's delivered, and Arias makes it right central on the edge of that 6-yard area. He just slides into it. He can't believe the space, and he just pushes it in to the near corner. Celebrations are there, so it's a great start for Wolves. Arias goes across there to the supporters, celebrating, but it's all about pace, it's all about tempo. What a start for Wolves.
As you can hear, the stadium is absolutely jumping. Shaky start at the back for Wolves, but they've got themselves ahead, and as Michael quite rightly says, heavily involved in the first couple of minutes, the attacking moves there. Not just Hwang, but the 18-year-old who's been given his chance, Mateusz Mane. The Colombian John Arias has scored the first goal for the club, and this is probably the loudest it's been inside Molineux all season. Wolves 1, West Ham 0. West Ham immediately on the attack, having gone a goal behind. Bowen finds Walker-Peters. Low cross into the area is blocked. The clearance is hoisted high in the air. Arakadare takes a touch, makes a tackle, and that will go out for a West Ham throw. So Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Warm welcome to all our listeners on the BBC World Service this afternoon. Michael Brown, you promised me goals. We've got one already.
I keep waiting for you. I'm looking at you. You're trying to give the teams, and I'm saying, no, there's too much going on. It's too exciting. End to end, but how scrappy it's been. But then we're just seeing a brilliance of attacking football, of counter-attacking, and then reverse passes. West Ham can't believe it. Jarrod Bowen initially who lost the ball. He's the mainstay, the best player possibly on that turnover. They didn't recover from it.
Without a win in 8 games, West Ham, after back-to-back wins in early November. Let's try and get these teams out for you now that our listeners have joined us on the World Service as well. Jose Sarr in goal for Wolves. Santiago Bueno, the Uruguayan, has returned to the back 3. So that is Gerson Mosquera, Santiago Bueno and the Czech Ladislav Krejci. Jackson Chachua on the ball, wide on the right. His pass is intercepted at the moment. West Ham have it back inside their own half. Hugo Bueno in the left wing back position for Wolves. Joao Gomez and the goal scorer Jean Arias as the central midfielders. Mateusz Mane, Hwang Hee-chan in support of Tolu Arakadare. As for West Ham, Areola in goal. Walker-Peters, Mavropanos, the former Wolves defender, Max Kilman and Ollie Scarles at left back. Sunguto Magassa and Freddie Potts, very young midfield pair in there for West Ham as they come again with Somerville. Up to the edge of the area, little pass looking for Wilson, cleared for now. Ball is loose inside that Wolves half and Mane is onto it very quickly. He's running away from Magassa here, chases him into the West Ham half. Ball stays in play. It was knocked by Mane into the shins of Walker-Peters. The West Ham right back gets there first, plays it back to Areola, and just to complete that West Ham lineup for you, Jarrod Bowen wide on the right, Somerville on the left, and Mateus Fernandes in behind Callum Wilson. 7 minutes in, Wolves 1, West Ham 0. And it's Brighton 0, Burnley 0 in the Premier League. If you haven't heard earlier on in the Premier League today, Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 1. So Aston Villa have gone second, 3 points behind Arsenal, who play at Bournemouth at half-5, and Rangers won at Celtic Park by 3-1. I can see Hibs 1 up against Kilmarnock early on in one of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Scottish Premiership. Somerville busy and buzzing down the left again. Flag's gone up for an offside free kick for Wolves. So early thoughts from Michael Brown.
Yeah, Somerville started well, really wanting to set the tone, running in behind with momentum, tricks and flicks, trying to get the balls and deliveries in, but it's been a really fast start of the game. So much for teams worrying about the situation. Both have opened up, both have tried to make things happen, but that youngster we were on about, Mateusz Mane, you know, he's been given the chance by Rob Edwards, and someone said to me just then before in the press room, he doesn't care, he's fearless, and he's played like that, hasn't he? He's just pushed it and run down that left-hand side then, got after it, just a bit of something. That's what the fans want here. Even the situation they're in for Wolverhampton Wanderers, that they have a go, they have some fight, have a belief.
Yeah, Michael Brown with us here at Molineux. He thought John Southall was sounding a little bit downbeat ahead of Brighton Burnley this afternoon. Let's check in for the first time since kick-off. John?
Yeah, I don't think Brownie was here for the Sunderland game just before Christmas, in fairness, the 0-0, but it's Brighton 0, Burnley 0. First half chance for Brighton, corner on the left from Kodioglu, and there was Joel Veltman at the near post to head it over in a congested area. Brighton 0, Burnley 0.
Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Hibs 1 up at Kilmarnock. You're up to date with everything going on in the Premier League and the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. 2 more commentaries from the Premier League coming your way tomorrow as well, plus a full programme of football in the EFL. Goals as they go in with our usual, well, what is normally a Saturday afternoon service. It's almost like Saturday and Sunday in terms of the fixtures have switched round in the Premier League this weekend. Ian Dennis will be alongside Mark Schwarzer for Fulham-Liverpool at 3 o'clock tomorrow. We've got full commentary on Manchester City-Chelsea tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. Arias back doing good defensive work for Wolves there. Takes it off Somerville, and that'll be a throw-in for West Ham. But Somerville's looked dangerous early on, Michael.
Yeah, he's looked really tricky down that left. He's had a go. I thought this was in range for John Southall to come here today. We're getting the excitement, we're getting the goals. You know, it was almost there, but we might get him one. We wish him well. We hope he gets some action there. But we've seen a real interesting start. Imagine the supporters, imagine the reaction if West Ham, I think we were lucky, don't we? I mean, Mark said before that it feels like Wolves have still got some positives to come. If they win this, let's see what happens. But for West Ham to lose this, the reaction will be
Kadare turns without the ball, lets it run past him, gets onto it inside the West Ham half, and every time Wolves cross the halfway line you can hear the reaction inside this stadium. It's buzzing at the moment. Bottom of the Premier League table, sitting there on 3 points, but leading West Ham 1-0 this afternoon. Shaft of sunshine over on the right hand side of the field as we look across the pitch towards the Steve Bull stand. Wolves are playing from right to left in this first half. Bueno, that's Santiago Bueno, across to the Colombian Mosquera, tries to force a ball down the right hand side. That's gone out for a throw in to Wolves. Back to John at Brighton.
Oh, Brownie thought we had our goal. Brighton 0, Burnley 0. Really good finish from Kostulas on the right of the penalty area into the bottom left-hand corner. That would have been his second goal for the club on his first appearance, first start, but offside. It was ruled offside. Flag was up. Goal disallowed. Brighton 0, Burnley 0.
Nuno Espirito Santo back on familiar turf this afternoon, the former Wolves boss. He is wrapped up warm, but his West Ham team are behind, and of course those fans of Nottingham Forest and Leeds and Bournemouth and the teams just above West Ham in the relegation battle very much on Wolves' side this afternoon. West Ham come forward with Walker-Peters. Quick short pass to the right to Bowen. Bowen doesn't see anything on, so plays back into his own half to Mavropanos. Across it comes to Kilman. Kilman wide to Scarles. Scarles sees Mateus Fernandes come towards him, collects the ball, plays it into midfield. Potts is on the turn, out to the left it goes. Somerville has to stretch to try and control that, shoulder to shoulder with Arias, and eventually the ball goes out for a Wolves throw. Big games in the Gallagher Premiership this afternoon as well. Bath and Exeter, I think, playing for top spot. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, top spot up for grabs. An early drama here. Just 4 minutes played. Bath 0, Exeter 0. But Exeter shown a 20-minute red card to young Campbell Riddle, only 20 years old. He took out Henry Arundel by the ankles in the air. Arundel seems okay, but Riddle is off for 20 minutes. He won't return. Another player will later. 0-0.
Commentary of that game on Sports Extra 2. Over on Sports Extra at the moment you can listen to Brighton against Burnley, and then Northampton Quins in the Gallagher Premiership is on Sports Extra. It kicks off at 5:30. We're 12 minutes into the first half here at Molineux in the Premier League. Wolves lead through John Arias' first goal for the club, which came in the 4th minute. Mateus Fernandes on the ball for West Ham. Wide it goes to the little figure of Somerville. Back to Fernandes. Diagonal ball high towards the byline. Bowen volleys it back in play, and it's gone out for a corner. Bowen did well, A, to keep that in, B, to meet it so cleanly on the volley, and C, obviously, to win the corner for West Ham. It's going to be really interesting, isn't it? The longer this game goes, the longer West Ham are behind, to just see how they cope with that, Michael.
Well, it is one of those as well. When you look at Nuno's setup normally, he's happy to stay really conservative, stay behind the ball, but what he's had to do here now, where I mean, playing into Wolves' hands, they've gone really wide and high. 2 full-backs are also getting forward, they're even 2v1 on the edge, so they're open here, but can Wolves capitalise now? Set pieces, going to be important for Nuno.
Corner then for West Ham, first of the game. Scarles will take with his left foot, pacey delivery into the far post. Sarr gets something on it, sort of flaps it away. Arias is there and just gives it a good meaty thump with his right foot. The ball bounces a couple of times. Walker-Peters comes across his own half to collect and finds Mateus Fernandes to his right, who's playing in the long-sleeved claret shirt with the black gloves on his hands. Pass down the left-hand side from Potts to Somerville. Somerville starts to move infield, then goes back outside to Fernandes. He immediately fizzes it back here to Somerville. Across to Magassa, who's an imposing presence in central midfield for West Ham. Ball back on the left-hand side with Scarles, and West Ham were moving it around nicely. Scarles couldn't find his pass to Fernandes, and trying to shepherd the ball out of play there is Jackson Chachua, which he has done for Wolves. So that is a Wolves throw in the right back position. Wolves 1, West Ham 0. How have the leaders in Scotland started? Hearts Livingston being watched by Jane Lewis.
Well, it's still 0-0 here, but I don't know how, because Hearts are absolutely piling on the pressure. They thought they had scored just a few minutes ago. Thomas Magnuson maybe should have. A great ball in over. He was all alone, just yards out from the box, and he somehow just toe-poked his shot wide. Plenty of chances from Hearts followed that, but it's still 0-0.
Wolves fans think they should have had a free kick for a challenge on Arakadare. Somerville's gone down inside the box. The referee is having a good look at that. Somerville stayed down, so has Santiago Bueno. Jose Sarr thinks at least one of them is badly hurt. He's immediately put the ball out of play, and it's another challenge we are going to have to look at in that penalty area away to our right, because West Ham have had a couple of early penalty shouts in this game. Somerville running through. Mosquera tries to make the block, and then he accidentally collides with Santiago Bueno. Michael, as the former professional footballer, what did you make of that?
Do you know what? He does collide with him, but he's sort of losing his balance as he falls on top of him. You'd be unfortunate on these situations, but what it is, pace is key. And that slide past Somerville, he doesn't know where he is, and he's lost him for a second. And as he's trying to turn to see where he is, his feet go, falls to the ground, and does catch him slightly. And that's what they'll be asking for, won't they? Somerville will be saying, I've got a chance here. And they slid in behind. It's a good pass, and as he comes, we get another look. Why does he go near him? The only thing I would say, the contact first is initially round the hip, Ali, and his legs go, so he tries to buy it, which will take a lot of it away. Yeah,
it was Mosquera who, as Michael says, was worried about the Somerville pace. Much bigger man, Mosquera, but Somerville had the run on him, and he just stuck out a left arm, and he sort of got him there around the hip area. Somerville already seems to be going down. And then as he was going down, Santiago Bueno came sliding in. Then there was the collision, and that's why we've got both players down in that penalty area away to our right. Somerville's being hauled to his feet. Santiago Bueno is still flat on his back. Back to the rugby. Bath, Exeter, Sarah Orchard. Sarah Orchard, are you there? Not at the moment. Bath Exeter. Commentary continues over on Sports Extra 2. What about Brighton? Brighton Burnley. John Southall, are you there?
I am. Brighton 0, Burnley 0, and after the lively-ish start to the game, we've just gone into a bit of a lull here. Brighton the better side on the front foot as they come forward. Matoma on the left of the penalty area, cleared away by Burnley. Strike comes in, takes a deflection over the bar. Brighton 0, Burnley 0.
So that one goalless. Wolves leading this one 1-0. Villa beat Nottingham Forest 3-1. We've got full commentary on Bournemouth Arsenal to come, and they're taking their time just to get Santiago Bueno back up and running. Eventually the Uruguayan is lifted to his feet by two members of the Wolves medical team, and I think he's going to be okay to continue. Standing there away to our right, just talking to the referee, who now just seemed to add his left hand to his earpiece, so whether there's discussion about the potential penalty there or not, I'm not sure.
I'm just looking at Nuno. He's standing at the front of his technical area, a place he knows well. He's got great experience now as a manager, as a coach. How does he get them out of this? What's next for him? What does he need to change? How does he find a winning formula? He just walks back, has a little look. You can only think what's going around in his brain, thinking, what do I do next? How do I have a style like this? Do I need reinforcements? Is it detail? Is it training? Is it players' mentality? This is a really, really dire situation for West Ham.
Bueno's just being walked off the pitch over on the far side of the field to us, but will come back on. I'm looking for Somerville. Yeah, he's the other side of the field as well, just in front of that Steve Bull stand. The West Ham fans all packed out in the lower tier of that one. The game is back underway, so both teams down to 10 at the moment, with a player off injured each. And Wolves in front, looking for this first Premier League win of the season. In the history of top-flight football in England, only Bolton have had a longer run without a win from the start of the season in the top flight. That was 22 games. You have to go back to 1902-03 to find that one. So Wolves desperate to find the win, obviously, as soon as they can. They've got the ball here with Mosquera. Mosquera at walking pace inside his own half, plays it across to Krejci. Krejci to Hugo Bueno. He's got a bit of space in front of him here, so picks up pace, ball at his feet. West Ham defenders backpedaling. Pacey cross comes in. Arakadare stuck a foot out. He's diverted it to the right. High swinging cross to the back post, and Walker Peters, not really sure what was around him there, nods it behind for the Wolves corner. Michael Brown.
Yeah, the ball wasn't of real quality. It was a floated ball right to that back post, and just looking at you, Walker Peters waiting to try and get contact. He wasn't sure. He had to wait for it to drop. Just heads it out for a set piece. Now you see zonal, a couple of blockers, edge of the penalty area. It's got to be good, this delivery.
Can they find themselves a second goal to really put the pressure on West Ham? Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Corner coming in from the left. Hwang floated one to the far post. Headed clear for now by Mavropanos. Volleyed back towards the edge of the box by Chachua. Cleared again to the halfway line. João Gomez has it covered for Wolves and immediately plays it back to his goalkeeper, all in green, José Sá, with the prominent beard jutting from his angular chin. Arakadare, Wolves centre forward, leaps, has his arm in the air. He thought the ball was going out for a throw. Skulls has kept it in play for West Ham, looking for Wilson, but the pass is nowhere near him. So West Ham have given the ball straight back to Wolves here, and across it comes to Krejci. Goal at Hearts, Jane Lewis.
Yeah, it's gone the way of the home side as well, so things going according to plan from their point of view. Hearts 1, Livingston 0. The goal came from Craig Halkett. Great ball in, and a brilliant long looping header in past the Livingston goalkeeper. Hearts 1-0 up here at Tynecastle.
Hearts win this afternoon puts them 6 points clear of both Celtic and Rangers. Rangers winning 3-1 at Celtic Park earlier on. Chris Sutton taking the calls on 6:06 tonight after our commentary of Bournemouth against Arsenal. So I think his thoughts, Michael, will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be quite conservative tonight. You'll have much to say, will he? Do you think?
Exactly. Yeah.
Any topic you can imagine he's on about?
Ball's gone out of play just in front of us here for a throw-in to Wolves inside their own half, leading 1-0, in no hurry at all to take it at the moment. Bath Exeter ladies in the Gallagher Premiership. Sarah Orchard.
12 minutes played. Bath 14, Exeter 0. Tries from Beno Obano and Alfie Barbary, both converted by Finn Russell. And this is while Exeter are still down to 14. A red card shown early to Campbell Riddle. They've got another 10 minutes before they can get back to a full complement.
Thank you, Sarah. Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Back here at Molineux. Somerville's little pass back to Skulls. Gives it back to Somerville again. He goes sideways to his right. Mavropanos sees space for Walker-Peters wide on the right. He's closed down by Krejci. Back it comes to Magassa. High ball into the penalty area. Oh, Sar's dropped it under no pressure at all, and then it's chested back very calmly to his goalkeeper by Gerson Mosquera. A few nerves.
Well, it was nerves. It was so easy, wasn't it? It was so high with no pressure on it. Just wasn't sure his surroundings behind him, though. He drops it down. Luckily, he's chested back into him, but it's a lack of concentration. There's a little bit of a coming together there. They're not happy. Rob Edwards is asking questions.
Wolves fans are up, appealing for a free kick. That was a battle between Kilman, the former Wolves defender, and Arakadare, the current Wolves centre forward. Mateusz Fernandes tries to feed one to Bowen, knocked off the ball. Hwang immediately plays it forward to the Nigerian Arakadare. Back it comes to Arias. Support on the right-hand side from Chachua. You can hear the excitement inside the stands at Molineux again. Chachua is tackled, though, by Skulls. Skulls wants this ball to go behind the dead ball line and then cleverly just knocks it into the right shin of Chachua and wins the goal kick for West Ham. 22 minutes played, first half. Wolves 1, West Ham 0.
Skulls did well. I was wondering why he's going to let it go for such a long time. He could get caught out, but he just plays it, ricochets off, and they managed to play out, build, come forward. They look all right to the eye, don't they, West Ham?
Yeah.
They look like they've got some nice passing range, an organisation of like getting together. But since they're on in that final third, we're finally seeing Callum Wilson getting a touch. He has to hold up, link it and drop it away. It's a wide positions you feel like they can certainly dominate. West Ham can.
Trick from Somerville on the left-hand side, beats a couple of defenders, then he's fouled. Free kick 25 yards out, maybe a little bit more, in the inside left channel, right under the watchful eye of referee Peter Banks, who's standing right on the spot from which this free kick will be taken. Lucas Paquetá, obviously a big miss for West Ham this afternoon, not just from the set pieces, but in terms of creating opportunities. So Hearts 1 up on Livingston, Hibs 1 up at Kilmarnock. Wolves leading West Ham by 1-0 here. And let's see what West Ham can do with this. Skulls, the young left-back, breathing heavily, stands over the ball. So does Mateusz Fernandes. Well, in fact, he's waiting away to the right-hand side in case West Ham are going to try a straight pass across the face of the box. Looks like they're aiming one into the penalty area towards the far post. Here it comes. That's overhit by a long way and goes straight behind for the goal kick. And that was disappointing delivery from Freddie Potts. And this is pressure for young players like Potts, like Skulls. For West Ham, like Magassa in central midfield, with West Ham sitting in that bottom three and a goal behind against a team that's not won a game in the Premier League this season. Brighton Burnley ladies, John Southall.
It's 0-0. Burnley have a corner over on the far side, but Brighton with the best chance since you were last with me. Lewis Dunk with a header 8 yards out, flashed over the crossbar, probably should have done better. Brighton 0, Burnley 0.
Goal kick here for Wolves, being taken in front of the Sir Jack Hayward stand away to our right. The luminous yellow ball goes spinning in the air. Walker-Peters has accidentally worn one there from Hwang as they challenge for the ball. It has gone out for a West Ham throw. Hwang goes over to apologise, takes the ball away with him. Magassa goes to get it back for West Ham, takes the throw, and Carl Walker-Peters is going to be okay. All the highlights tonight, match of the day, BBC One at 10:30. The goal highlights available on the iPlayer, as they are every weekend, from 8 o'clock in the evening. Potts goes down, free kick West Ham on the halfway line. 20 minutes remaining in the first half and still goalless at Brighton Burnley. West Ham have taken their free kick. This time Magassa drops back between his two centre-backs, fizzes a pass out to Walker-Peters, gives it back to Magassa. Magassa uses Walker-Peters again.
Wolves are just literally sat in, aren't they? Back fives, they're not moving. All the protection front, they'll say, right, we'll drop back in on build-up, we'll take our time, we'll conserve it slightly. They don't have the answers. They're not as clean, West Ham, once they're going into the play, and they're just getting picked off when they're going into that final third still. They've got to rotate, come back round, wait for the space.
Yeah, the attacking move has broken down. It's gone out for a Wolves throw. Those are the thoughts of Michael Brown with us on 5 Live and the BBC World Service this afternoon. There's Arias, the goal scorer, back to Krejci. Good pass from him, releases Bueno. Bueno goes charging down the left-hand side, covered by Fernandes for West Ham. João Gomez under pressure, chased by Magassa, who continues that chase. Krejci plays it back to Sarr, taking his time here, lets the ball roll towards him, and then leaning back, clears, drops midway inside his own half, and Potts has just barged Arias in the back, giving away a free kick, and Wolves are taking it quickly, and Chachua might be able to keep it in on the right, gets the first touch on the ball, then it goes behind as he gets the cross in, and that will be a goal kick to West Ham. Good thinking, just didn't quite have the execution.
Yeah, there's that foul, wasn't there? Potts just pushes Arias down where he's going to go tight, gives a free kick, but then they play it really quickly. You see the break down the right hand side. Chua just almost gets it, done he on the line, he gets the ball back, but that flag goes up. No one was with him anyway when the delivery come into the centre of the box, but just look, Mavropanos still wasn't sure, was he, what was behind him.
Plays into midfield, Potts lays it off to Walker-Peters, back to Potts again, curling pass over the top. Wilson's interested, goes chasing. Bueno, good defending, just puts his body between Wilson and the ball, so it wasn't a clear run for Wilson. That had to slow down, and it's come through to Jose Sarr.
He's had so much involvement, hasn't he, already, Potts? You see, he's got a little foul, he's got to try to take some free kicks, he's tried to move around, he's under a few challenges, they're getting his head down. But that ball, there's that understanding there where Wilson's got to be clean at.
Here's Hwang inside his own half. Walker-Peters dives in, makes the block, it goes out for a Wolves throw. Freddie Potts has been playing plenty of football outside the Premier League in the last couple of seasons, on loan to Wickham 2 seasons ago in League One. Portsmouth in the Championship last season, now starting regularly for West Ham in this midfield at the age of 22. West Ham have lost it. Bueno's onto it down the left. Walker-Peters is chasing. Bueno gets that cross in. West Ham haven't quite got it clear. Magassa sticks a leg out. That's going to be a penalty. Mateus Mane went for the ball inside the box. Magassa went for the same ball, stuck a right leg out, caught his man. Peter Banks had a think, and at the moment on field he's given the penalty, and he's going to wait for the say-so of the video assistant referee. Michael Brown.
Mateus Mane was so clever here. Whether he gets it right or whether he doesn't, he just puts his foot there. There's not a huge amount of contact. This is going to be close, and we see it, but it was Mavropanos who doesn't sort his feet out straight away. There's a touch, is the contact, he dives, anticipates the connection, and when I get another look, it's very, very minimal. This will be very, very unfortunate if it's given.
Yeah, 2 players going for the ball in exactly the same fashion. The point is that Mane gets the ball first. Magassa makes contact with his foot
as well, though. Yeah. Magassa tries to pull away from it,
and it's not enough to knock him over, is it? It's contact on the foot, not on the ball inside the penalty area. It actually came from a bit of indecision from Max Kilman inside his own penalty area, where you thought he was going to sort of stoop to try and head the ball away. He let it hit his right knee, and that's what lobbed the ball up in the air.
They're just seeing if there's any contact on the ball by Magassa. That's the point here. Who gets there first? And the clips might not help this situation, actually, because it looks like he just nudges it away from him. But for me, is there even any contact on the player, you know? And he just dives straight over. You'd be very, very disappointed if that went against you.
VAR is Timothy Wood. Peter Banks waiting for instruction at the moment. We have all eyes on the referee. I'm told that Brighton have gone up a goal to the good at home against Burnley, so we'll be with John Southall shortly. Peter Banks now marches into the penalty area. Yeah, penalty. It is. Checks everything is in place, the referee, and Hwang Hee-chan, what a massive moment in the game this is for Wolves and West Ham. Wolves leading 1-0. Hwang created the first. Can he add a second from the penalty spot with his right foot? Yes, he can! Right down the middle. Wolves have a 2-goal cushion, and are they going to start 2026 with a Premier League win? Wolves 2, West Ham 0.
Well, he has started well, hasn't he? You mentioned about his play down the wider areas. He's had some good spells here, he's had some bad ones. But once he's standing there, he's waiting. Just lets the goalkeeper fall down, doesn't he? And rolls it into the corner. Big moment, getting worse here for West Ham, but just listen to these Wolves supporters, they can't believe it. How are they going to get the first win?
Buzzing inside Molineux. What about that goal at Brighton, John Southall?
It's the same here. Brighton 1, Burnley 0. Jorginho Ruta with a goal on the right of the 6-yard box, smashed it into the bottom left-hand corner, tight angle, good finish, second of the season for him. Brighton 1, Burnley 0.
Just looking at that Premier League table, Brighton, as it stands, going 1 up, sitting in 8th spot. Wolves, obviously, with a win today, will be on 6 points. It'll leave West Ham on 14, 4 behind Nottingham Forest, the team immediately above them, just outside the relegation zone. West Ham at home to Nottingham Forest on Tuesday. Nuno Espirito Santo's team in real trouble here, without a win in 8 games, and 2-0 behind against a team who haven't been able to win a game in the league this season. They certainly believe they're going to do it this afternoon. Rob Edwards, the coach, delighted his team at 2-0 up, absolutely furious they didn't get the ball quicker forward there. He thought West Ham were there for the taking. And there will be discussion about the award of the penalty. Magassa's foot was up, Mane got there just before him, both attempted to get studs on the ball. I think Mane's foot got to the ball, Magassa just caught Mane, and that's why the penalty was given.
He bought it so well. Honestly, he did, really did. You know, yes, there's a tiny bit of contact, but over he goes. But this is where they are when it's not going for you, which it isn't for West Ham. It hasn't been all season. For Wolves, we're almost accepting it for these, but for West Ham, they're shell-shocked and they're getting bopped around here. Luckily, Arias just gives the ball away. But Nuno, again, the question marks that are going to be coming his way. Who can grab hold of this game for West Ham? In the middle of the pitch, you're asking about Freddie Potts. Magassi just made a mistake. The experience, Bowen, Wilson, have to get a formula, have to get something across to these players.
13 minutes left in the first half. 5 live BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Wolves, bottom of the Premier League, without a win this season in the league, leading West Ham 2-0. Bath Exeter in the Gallagher Premiership, being watched by Sarah Orchard.
22 minutes played. It's Bath 26, Exeter 0. 4 tries scored by Bath, who are back to their pomp after that shock loss at home to Northampton last week. And still about 30 seconds left for the Exeter Chiefs to get a full...
Oh, we lost Sarah there. Commentary of that game continues over on Sports Extra 2. And Wolves here have a free kick inside their own half, just short of the halfway line. Stadium's buzzing, real confidence amongst the players as well. You can see it visibly growing out there on the pitch. And Jose Sarr complaining here that Callum Wilson isn't the full 10 yards. Takes the free kick anyway, drives it across the pitch, high left to right. Arakadare goes down. Somerville on the turn as West Ham try and bring it away. Peter Banks about to blow the whistle, wants to play an advantage. No advantage for West Ham. So they get themselves the free kick, and West Ham have to score the next goal in this game. They really do. Trailing 2-0 without a win in 8, and in a real spot of bother at the moment. Mavropanos plays across to Kilman to Scarles, who still wants that ball in the left-back position. Down the line it goes to Somerville, returns it to Scarles. Mosquera comes rushing in, makes the block, and it goes out for another throw-in to West Ham. In the lead-up to that penalty as well, Michael, I was just talking about the Kilman touch, where he wasn't quite sure what to do. Looked like he was going to head it, stop, the ball hit his knee. That's what created the situation. Wolves have given the ball away. Bowen, early pass to Callum Wilson. Wilson approaching the edge of the Wolves penalty area, moves to his right, support on the outside from Mateus Fernandes. He's overrun it, keeps it in play but can't find a teammate, and Wolves able to bring it away with Bueno. Precision pass down the left-hand touchline for Mane, tries to knock it through the legs of Mavropanos. Mavropanos wins that, plays it back to his goalkeeper Areola, who's there in time on the edge of his box. First time ball from him comes across here to Ollie Scarles. Scarles takes a couple of touches and is able to bring the ball forward at a leisurely pace for West Ham, but they need some zip, they need some threat.
But look at the fullbacks now. I don't want to mention about earlier on, they were higher, and you see straight away Mavropanos he's taking his touch back across so he can just play safe to Kilman. Open that right foot out, get Walker-Peters away, get the ball to Bowen. Here it is again now, coming across, but it's on his back foot rather than forward, rather than advanced position. Bowen's got to drop all the way down. Fine, Bueno, I'm saying no problem, I'll come all the way with you. It's a little bit quicker, open up. You're going to have to do that if they're going to break this back five down earlier.
Hearts leading Livingston 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers 3-1 winners at Celtic in the lunchtime kick-off. Hibs 1-up at Kilmarnock. Brighton lead Burnley 1-0. And here it's Wolves 2, West Ham 0. And Michael was saying to us before kick-off on the show on 5 Live last night, had a sneaky feeling that Wolves might win this game. Here they come again. The 18-year-old Mane drops the left shoulder, can't get past Magassa, but makes his pass here to Chachua. It's going to take Scarles on the outside. The Wolves fans love that. Has the beating of him. Cross comes in, Kilman blocks, and it goes behind for the Wolves corner.
Chachua, they were sort of going, go on, have a go, but it didn't look like he had any chance of getting it down the side, but he put Scarles all the way and then put on the afterburners and went forward and forward, and he whizzes that ball right across that 6-yard area. You've seen Kilman taking up a good position, just stretch leg out, puts it for a corner. Bruno just going across, taking his time, they're in no rush, setting this up, more pressure on West Ham.
Yeah, not a fond return to Molineux at the moment for Max Kilman. 6 seasons here as a Wolves player, over 150 appearances. The manager as well, Nuno Espirito Santo, who got them back into the Premier League. Wolves. Corner comes in for Wolves from the right. Kilman is there, heads the ball away, controlled here by João Gomes. Has plenty of time on the edge of the box to get his cross in, headed down and blocked on the line and over the bar. And West Ham can consider themselves pretty fortunate. They're not 3-0 down.
Well, if he saves this, Areola down that left-hand side, looked like it was a certain goal. Initial great play, Gomez with a lovely touch, and then a flighted ball in, and it was acrobatic, wasn't it? He was falling away, and he saw his feet come like over the top of his head as he got some contact on it. Left-footed it was, actually a big save.
That is a remarkable acrobatic save from Alphonse Areola. Another corner comes in for Wolves, leading West Ham 2-0. Arias with the header down into the ground, much easier for Areola this time. It bounces up, makes a clean catch, and he sprints to the edge of the penalty area. Another goal in the Scottish Premiership in the 3 o'clock kickoffs this afternoon. Motherwell leads St Mirren 1-0. Hearts 1-up on Livingston. If Hearts win, they go 6 points clear at the top of the table. Pass out from the back by Mosquera to João Gomes, who is knocked over by Somerville, who was coming back to try and win the ball for West Ham. So Wolves will take the free kick. 8 minutes left in the first half. 2-0 to the good Wolves.
I thought you were going to take that on Arakadara, Areola, and the same thing, and you sort of sat back and had a little look at it and thought, I might just have to let that one breathe, because it is one of those that you've got to get your head round.
The save though, Michael, as you say, I mean the goalkeeper doesn't know a massive amount about it, but just sort of throws himself acrobatically.
It's headed down, isn't it? He's trying to get across, and his back, it's back against him, which he taught to do, back across the goalkeeper, down into the ground. That left foot comes across.
Kilman heads it away. Juan controls, looks for Arakadare. Neat turn inside the penalty area. He's tackled. He's gone down hurt. Wolves send it forward, and he's stayed down. Ball is in play. Areola clears first time with his right foot. Bounces in front of Bueno. He lets that travel over his left shoulder. Passes it back into his own half to Hugo Bueno, the Spaniard. Now Mosquera, the Colombian. Cross it comes to Chachua, the right wing back for Wolves. Forward to Arias, couldn't quite bring that under control. He's tackled, and it goes out for a throw into Wolves. And West Ham in the first half, Michael, they've had a couple of penalty shouts, neither of them given. But I don't remember Jose Sarr really making a save.
He's just checking, stood on his toe, isn't he?
He has, hasn't he?
No, he's let it go.
Arakadare on the turn in that previous Wolves attack. Kilman sticks a foot out.
right on top of him, doesn't he? He does get caught. Now we know why he stays down. So he's thinking there wasn't much contact, but it was that stamp on his toe. They had a look at it.
Yeah, I think Kilman's foot might have got a touch on the ball on the way through. Not enough for a penalty. Not given on the pitch. VAR has checked it and cleared it. So Wolves 2, West Ham 0 in the Premier League. Brighton 1, Burnley 0. Vicky Sparks and Rob Green will bring you commentary from 5:30 after half an hour's sports report this evening of Bournemouth against Arsenal, and Arsenal will start that game 3 points above Aston Villa in second after their win against Nottingham Forest, and 4 points above Manchester City, who are at home against Chelsea tomorrow under the stewardship of Callum McFarlane, with all the talk being that Liam Rosenior may well be the next man in to manage Chelsea. Back to Brighton, John Southall.
Where Brighton still lead Burnley by a goal to nil. Just had a centre-back masterclass dunk with the flick on, and Van Hecker with the overhead kick straight at Dubravka. What a goal that would have been. Brighton 1, Burnley 0.
5 minutes remaining in the first half here. Wolves 2, West Ham 0. Arakadare jumps, heads it infield. Magassa's giving it away for West Ham. Wolves happy to play back into their own half. Krejci out to the left here to Bueno. Encouragement again from the Wolves fans, wanting to get moving down that left-hand side. Clever little step over, nice pass, what a turn from Mane. Edge of the area, low drive, what a goal! What an unbelievable finish from the 18-year-old Mateusz Mane. His first goal for Wolves, he'll never forget that one. The pass was fabulous, but the turn, the touch, the finish were absolutely supreme. And it's Wolves 3, West Ham 0.
Well, this is how to announce yourself. People will be watching from all around about this young man as he just goes and celebrates to those fans behind the goal. But he had no right to take this ball like he did. It was a difficult one on the half turn, just left of the penalty area. But what he does, as I said, no fear. He takes the touch, he doesn't stop, he drives forward. I'm thinking, he's not going to shoot as he does. Near post, hits it so well, so direct. Into the bottom corner. It's a wonderful strike. It's a great goal from the youngster who set the game going early. The celebrations from Rob Edwards, who's given that opportunity. Here it is with a little high five with each other. Magnificent from a young player.
What a moment. He was talking about him, Mateusz Mane, in his programme notes today, Rob Edwards, talking about the right time to bring him in. He's shown so much promise and confidence. He's shown it right from the start in this game today, and that was very, very special. Match of the day tonight. That goal is well worth a look. The pass was excellent that creates it, but he still had plenty to do, and it's a fizzing low finish that beats Areola at his near post. So wonderful for Wolves, but I mean, West Ham are all over the shop here. 3-0 down away from home against the team bottom of the Premier League. Real bother for Nuno Espirito Santo and his West Ham team. Walker-Peters looks for Bowen, can't find him. Mane is there for Wolves inside their own half. Hwang to Bueno, back it comes to the goalkeeper Sarr. Callum Wilson comes steaming into the penalty area. Sarr clears with his right foot, Skulls is underneath it, lets it drop behind him, and it goes out for a throw-in. What made you say last night then, Michael, and not just you on the show, that you thought Wolves would win this game?
Do you know what? We were asked, and we have a little prediction over the weekend on the games, and we were all blind. No one knew what else everybody was saying. Yet myself, Clinton Morrison, Don Hutchinson, all picked Wolves to win this game. That's not a fluke, is it? Do you know what we're saying? We've seen some improvements from Wolves. We've seen how bad West Ham have been. Uncertainty and pressure.
Wilson into the Wolves penalty area. Sarr comes out to meet him. Down by the byline on the left. Sarr's out of position. Cross comes in. Can't find Bowen. Cleared up in the air. Little backward header there from João Gomez. West Ham looking to try and get on the score sheet before half time. 2 minutes of this first half remaining. Wolves heading towards a first Premier League win of the season, which will just start that little bit of belief building that maybe the greatest of great escapes could be on, but it's worrying times for West Ham. Somerville speeding in from the left, stumbles forward, lost his balance, has lost the ball, goal kick Wolves.
I can imagine half time. Mark's first question is just around the corner. If you're listening now, just imagine it. I told you so, didn't I? I can see it. But who would have said, nobody would have said this would have been the result at half time. The performance that they've had, some big moments. Obviously West Ham now, the heads down. Bowen must be thinking, what's happened to my team? The highlights that we've had, the way he goes through and creates for this team, the manager under pressure. What players are wanting to go here? So normally you go, right, they'll go and sign 4 or 5 and it is attractive. All of a sudden with this result, I think it really limits them, doesn't it?
Yeah, 15th game under Nuno Espirito Santo, 2 wins and 11 points from the first 14 leading into today. Got the new striker on the bench, of course, Pablo Felipe. Wonder what he's thinking sitting there. Freezing cold afternoon in the West Midlands.
He's thinking, can I leave this one and I'll just have a few days training and get ready for the middle of the week.
Yeah, West Ham at home to Nottingham Forest. Big game
that now.
On Tuesday night. FA Cup.
Can they find a reaction?
round
Can
next
this
weekend
side
as well.
do something here now? Come on, this is what we're doing now. This is the test. It's against a Wolves side who've been hurt, they've been struggling, not got a win. What will the goal do? How will it change the outcome?
Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Michael Brown with us here at Molineux. West Ham attacking late in the first half, goes wide to Scarles, played back here to Kilman, cross to Walker-Peters. West Ham fans opposite us in the lower tier of that Steve Bull stand, just standing still, staring dumbfounded at what's going on this afternoon. And we've got 7 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, and here come Wolves again down the right, bit between their teeth now. Chachua, again Wolves fans wanting to take Scarles on the outside. He goes infield to Arias, back it comes this time. Joao Gomez is there, Mosquera quickly ships it on to his left, inside the Wolves half. Santiago Bueno to Krejci, across to Hugo Bueno. Space again for him to bring the ball forward. Sideways pass into midfield to Hwang. Back to Bueno, down the touchline to Mateusz Mane, who really has provided the highlight of this first half, and Wolves have won a throw. Attacking position on the left, they lead West Ham 3-0.
And they've been waiting a long time for this, haven't they, to be in a position. You could see how much they're enjoying it, all want the ball. They've been hurting, it's been difficult. But it's like a different side, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Different side, different feel, different atmosphere.
Look at him, step overs there and everything.
Yeah, Hugo Bueno that was on the left. Arias keeps the ball. He got it going in the 4th minute with his goal. Second one came from the penalty spot, converted by Hwang. Here's Mosquera. Now Mosquera wants to go thundering forward, moving at real speed there, looking for the give and go. It's played back to Joao Gomez. He turns away from Mateus Fernandes. Plays back to Krejci. West Ham cannot get a kick here at the moment. Hugo Bueno to Arias. Knocks it into Walker-Peters and wins Wolves another throw. Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Added time at the end of the first half. Bath, Exeter latest in the Gallagher Premiership. Sarah Orchard.
It's Bath 26, Exeter 7. Finally the Chiefs go over. It was from their hooker, Joseph Dweeber, from a real hard push off the line out. They needed that. Bath already had the bonus point. Only 4 minutes to go until half time. Bath 26, Exeter 7.
Commentary of that game on Sports Extra 2. Brighton 1, Burnley 0 in the Premier League. You can listen to that in full on Sports Extra. And oh, there'll be a fly on the wall inside the West Ham dressing room at half-time here at Molineux. Trailing Wolves by 3-0. Wolves, who've managed 3 points from their first 19 games this season, haven't won since beating Leicester here last April by 3-0. 23 Premier League games since then. Going close to Derby's record run without a win of 32 games that one eventually got to in 2007, 2008, that Derby team that finished on 11 points that Premier League season. Here's Jarrod Bowen, who's got to lead the troops now for West Ham. Potts on the ball inside his own half. Across it goes to Kilman. Forward to Somerville. He lets it run past him. He's able to turn. Takes on Arias on the outside. Arias tries to stick with him. Somerville turns again. Brings it infield from the left-hand touchline. Played back to Potts. Side foots a pass here to Mavropanos, who comes striding forward with purpose. Walker-Peters on the right. West Ham desperately needing a goal before half-time to get themselves back into this game. Bowen looking for the 1-2. It is beyond Somerville. Ball goes up in the air. Magassa heads it forward. Krejci chests it down, allows it to bounce, hooks it high in the air. Arakadare holds off Mavropanos. Mateus Fernandes moves in, takes it for West Ham, and they'll start to build down the left. 4 minutes of added time remaining at the end of the first half. Somerville gets it again in a little pocket of space, speeding forward, knocked to the floor, picks himself up. Wilson onto the ball for West Ham. He goes down as well. Walker-Peters receives it inside the penalty area. Wilson on his feet again, back to Magassa, hits it well, curling shot over the bar. Jose Sarr lets it go behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, really good strike. Magassa coming forward, good work initially. Callum Wilson, then out to the right, Walker-Peters. They were looking, the passing was quicker. And it's a really difficult one that he tries, but he hits it well as he just goes over that whip from long range across the goalkeeper. It wasn't meant to be. You could see Wolves got all the bodies back. They were sat in waiting, compact, just waiting for the end of this first half. You can imagine the reaction, can't you?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Wolves fans, and then, as you've said, what's going to happen in that West Ham dressing room?
Well, it's stony silence from the West Ham fans on the far side of the field from us. Arakadare, clever use of the body there, chests it down to Mane, one-on-one here against Mavropanos, gets the cross in, Mavropanos makes a block, the ball spins inside the West Ham area. Arias moves on to it, not enough on the pass to get it back to Bueno. Dundee have gone ahead in the derby at Tannadice late in the first half. Dundee United 0, Dundee 1. That is now a half-time scoreline as well. Hearts lead Livingston 1-0, going 6 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership as it stands. Hibs 1 up at Kilmarnock. Falkirk and Aberdeen is goalless. Celtic 1, Rangers 3. It finished in the derby, the Old Firm derby, which kicked off at 12:30 this afternoon. Hugo Bueno is on the move, silky dribbling down the left, stopped in his tracks eventually. Throw in for Wolves. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. And there is going to be a thunderous reception for these Wolves players at half-time. Just a...
It's not to get carried away though, is it? Come on, let's be honest, this is about time these fans get a performance like this. They've showed improvement, but it shows you there is a level, but also it's West Ham. That's something. So listen, enjoy it, keep going, make sure the game continues like this.
West Ham looked vulnerable, and they've proved that. Hwang's flick on, nearly found the top corner. Areola jumps and catches with both hands. It was Krejci's header, in fact, that nearly found the back of the West Ham net for a Wolves fourth, but in the end a relatively comfortable save for the West Ham goalkeeper. Down the left they come with Skulls for West Ham. Forward to Mateus Fernandes. Walker-Peters wants it on the right. The pass can't find him. Block for now. Magassa moves it on to the right again. Walker-Peters plays back to the Frenchman. Last minute of the first half, Rob Edwards desperate for his Wolves team to keep West Ham out at the moment.
Where's Nuno gone? He was at the front of the technical area, wasn't he, for the first half an hour. He's gone and sat back inside.
He's retreated.
Which tells me, come on, you've got to find a way, get yourself out there. Get after a few.
Shelter of the dugout for Nuno Espirito Santo. Rob Edwards saying in his programme notes ahead of this one, I've only been here 6 weeks and I'm absolutely fed up of losing, was the quote. Fed up of coming back in after games, saying we're doing the right things, training well and playing well and not getting the results. 1-1 against Manchester United on Tuesday. Ended that run of 12 straight defeats in all competitions. Now they're leading West Ham by 3-0. West Ham trying to open Wolves up down the left. Skulls brings the ball forward, 40 yards out. Arias leaps to block that cross. The half-time whistle blows, and have a listen to that. That is a mix of loud cheers from the Wolves fans, but you can hear the boos and cheers underneath that from the West Ham fans on the opposite side of the ground to us. Wolves fans have not seen the like in the Premier League this season. Jean Arias got them started in the 4th minute to get them ahead. Then came the penalty. Magassa's challenge on Mane. Hwang stuck that away. And what a moment for the third goal. The 18-year-old Mateus Mane finding the bottom corner, taking the pass on the turn and rifling the shot home. Michael Brown.
Oh, you just wondered which way it was going to go. It was a bit of an end-to-end start to the game, and then all of a sudden Wolves come alive, some real quality, and they just kept that momentum up. It was like they've been playing like this for such a long period of time, and then they realised the game was there for them. They grew in confidence, some wonderful goals. As we've seen, the penalty changed it as well, but that youngster who's been involved in everything, Mateus Mane, from there on with that wonderful strike, set the game out of sight. Or less, we can see something of a huge change and a shift from Nuno, but he just looked so dejected as he walked down that tunnel.
A special Mane moment at Molineux at half-time. Wolves lead West Ham by 3-0, heading for their first Premier League win of the season. And Mark, I take it all back, it's on, they can do it.
Second half on the way from Molineux with Ali and Michael. Just the one goal in it at the Amex. John Southall.
Yes, Brighton 1, Burnley 0. Deserved half-time lead for Brighton before the goal. Costellas had a goal disallowed for offside and Lewis Dunk headed over 8 yards out. Good chance that. Then the goal itself, routed to the 4 in the build-up, ended up with him on the right of the area and he smashed it into the bottom left corner from a tight angle. Good finish, Burnley offered little, but in the 45th minute, Lucas Pires on the left of the penalty area, his shot saved by Verbruggen. They need more of that in the second half. Half-time, Brighton 1, Burnley 0.
Earlier in the Premier League, Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Aston Villa have gone second. Arsenal at Bournemouth at 5:30. Full commentary here on 5 Live. In the Old Firm, Celtic were a goal up at half-time. They lost, beaten 3-1 by Rangers. Rangers level on points with Celtic, and the two of them set to be 6 points behind Hearts because Derek McInnes' side lead at the break. Jane Lewis.
Yeah, they do indeed. It's Hearts 1, Livingston 0. So far, so good for Hearts. I say they lead by 1-0. It could be way more than that. A brilliant header from Craig Halkett put them ahead. From that moment, Hearts were in complete control. And but for the Livingston goalkeeper, Jerome Pryor, as I say, they could have had more goals. He made 2 absolutely fantastic saves. First of all, to keep out Lawrence Shanklin, and then from Harry Milne as half-time approached as well. At half-time here, Hearts are on top and things looking good. So far, obviously we've got 45 minutes to go, but they lead 1-0, and that means right now they're 6 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership.
Elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, Dundee scored late on at Tannadice in that first half to have a 1-0 lead against Dundee United. It's goalless between Falkirk and Aberdeen. Kilmarnock 0, Hibs 1, and Motherwell 1, St Mirren 0. In the Scottish Championship, just the 3 games on. It's goalless between Airdrieonians and Wraith. Morton are 2-0 up at Partick. Leaders St Johnstone lead Arbroath by 1-0. Just the 2 games on in Scottish League 1. Goalless between Celtic Hearts and Alloa. Stenhousemuir are 1-0 up on Queen of the South. And just the 3 games on in Scottish League 2. Clyde 0, Forfar 1. The leaders Spartans lead Dumbarton by 1-0. Stranraer 0, Edinburgh City. Plenty of games in the National League were postponed. The latest one was the one at Altrincham, which was postponed 5 minutes before the game was due to kick off. So just 4 matches taking place at the moment. Boston 1, Eastleigh 1. Carlisle lead Wealdstone by 1-0. Forest Green Rovers 0, Halifax 1. And Tamworth 1, Gateshead 0. Last night, Bristol beat Sale to go to the top of the Gallagher Prem. Looks like Bath will replace them. They lead at the break against Exeter. Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, half-time score at the Rec. Bath 26, Exeter 14, and Bath with the fastest bonus point of the season so far. But it all came off the back of the early action when there was a red card shown to young Campbell Riddle, the Exeter wing, after he took out Henry Arundel in the air. It was a horrible challenge. Riddle knew straight away that he was in a lot of trouble, and that was the period where Bath did the damage. Since then, when they're back up to a full complement of 15, Exeter have looked lively. They've got 2 tries back, and there's still a half of rugby to go. Half-time, Exeter 14, Bath 26.
Sports Extra 2, if you want to listen to that. 3 minutes to 4 o'clock. Jill Mackenzie has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The US Attorney General says the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, has been charged with drug and weapon offences after he was captured by American forces. President Trump is expected to give a press conference soon, but he's been speaking to Fox News in the US, where he said watching the operation was like watching a TV show.
What they did is really amazing, and I think it sends a signal. We're not going to be pushed around as a country anymore by these countries where we want to be politically correct all the time. They're killing our people. If we had a war, if you lost 300,000 people, in the Civil War we lost 600,000 people. We lose 300,000 people a year to drugs, and we're not going to allow it anymore with any country.
President Trump was also asked where President Maduro and his wife are.
Well, they'll be heading to New York. You know, they were indicted in New York, and also...
So were they taken to a ship first, and then...
Yes, to Iwo Jima. They're on a ship,
okay.
But they'll be heading into New York. The helicopters took them out, and they went by helicopter in a nice flight. I'm sure they loved it. But they've killed a lot of people. Remember that. They killed a lot of people. And
a lot of Americans.
Even people in their own country. They killed a lot of people to maintain power. He's a very vicious person.
There were multiple US strikes on Venezuela early this morning, mainly in the capital, Caracas. The government there has declared a state of emergency and accused the US of colonialism. Our South America correspondent is Ione Wells.
We've had a statement from the Defence Minister, Vladimir Padrino, who has said that Venezuela will defend itself and has also said that the government is working on trying to essentially count and collaborate figures for the dead and the damage that has been done by the strikes this morning. Now, that message from the Venezuelan government, at least publicly, is that they plan to fight this, that they plan to defend themselves. The big question, though, that remains unanswered, I think, is really whether they will be able to do that very effectively or not, because we don't yet know quite the level of damage that has been done to this defence infrastructure, what kinds of casualties we might be talking about, and, as you say, who else may be still remaining in the country, not sort of hunkering down.
The US has been putting pressure on the Maduro government, which the Trump administration says is flooding the US with drugs and gang members. Washington's called him an illegitimate leader. China has strongly condemned the action against Venezuela, while Russia described it as deeply concerning. The European Union's called for international law to be respected. Sir Keir Starmer says the UK was not involved in the US strikes. He's spoken to broadcasters.
I want to speak to President Trump. I want to speak to allies. As I say, I can be absolutely clear that we were not involved in that. And as you know, I always say and believe we should all uphold international law. But I think at this stage, fast-moving situation, let's establish the facts and take it from there.
We're expecting President Trump to give a press conference in the next few minutes. We'll bring you the details in our next bulletin here on 5 Live, or you can follow live on the BBC News website or on the live news stream on BBC Sounds. In other news, Swiss prosecutors say the two managers of a bar which caught fire early on New Year's Day are under criminal investigation for killing by negligence. 40 people died in the ski resort of Crans-Montana. Officials have identified 4 victims today, including 2 16-year-olds. And a search operation for a person who went missing in the sea off East Yorkshire is being affected by bad weather. 2 people died after entering the water off Withensea yesterday.
Coming up in 2026 from 5 Live Sport.
A bit of eye contact, I suspect, between bowler and batsman. This is what Test cricket's all about, and we've waited for this.
That is one magnificent golf shot, and he's hit the par 5 in 2.
And he cannot contain the emotion right now. Look at that smile on his face. Crystal Palace have just won the FA Cup.
Coming up in 2026 from 5 Live Sport.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We heard from Danny Rowell earlier after Rangers came from behind to beat Celtic 3-1 at lunchtime. Let's get the Celtic perspective. Here's their manager, Wilfred Nancy.
I think that we deserve more today. But again, I think we deserve more goals. First half was outstanding. The intensity, the pressure, the commitment to compete, to win every ball and so on. But only 1-0. And after that, second half, we came back. We were in control. And we conceded 3 goals on the throw-in. So that's why it's difficult to accept, but this is the reality, regarding the details. And yeah, this is tough to accept.
Do you place the responsibility on the players for how that second half went, or was it to do with other things, the tactics, anything else like that?
This is not about the player, this is not about the tactic, this is about moments. And I think that during few moments we could have done better. And for me, game is about moments. My players were outstanding first half regarding what they did. They wanted to do again better the second half. But now it's about details. Details, the way we conceded, we have to be better.
A number of fans gathered outside the front, not just criticising yourself, other elements at the club here as well. It's not a good situation, is it, for the club or yourself at the moment?
Yes, this is the reality. But again, we have to stay stronger. We have to stay together. And we are really close that many things that can turn around. If it was not the case, I would not talk like this. But again, we have many things that we are really close. But again, this is not enough. We are in a few details. But I really believe that we're going to be able to turn things around.
You're calling for patience to let things, kick in. Do you think you'll get the patience from the people above? I know you spoke during the week that they were fully behind you.
We are together with the board.
Wilfred Nancy with Martin Dowden. In the Premier League at lunchtime, Aston Villa beat Nottingham Forest 3-1. Fourth straight league defeat for Forest. They're 17th in the table, 4 points above the relegation zone as it stands, with West Ham 3-0 down at Molineux. Here's Sean Dyche.
Very frustrating for us as managers tactically, because we delivered the first half as I wish they would and hoped they would, apart from the last moment of truth when we just come out of our slot for no reason. It's a very simple moment in the game from a game management point of view. At that late stage, straight down the line, stay behind it, etc., etc. But we come out of our slots. Credit to them, really good turn and finish. And then at half-time, we say we have to come out a bit more, but before we get a chance to, you're 2-0 down from another very basic error, give the ball away, not enough quick reaction from Dylan who gave the ball away. That's what he's got to learn. He's new to the Premier League, of course. You have to react to everything. And then they just play a slight pass, and, we can maybe defend that better. And then it's a challenge. We score a very good goal, and then lo and behold, give another poor goal away, which at that stage, we're just, asking questions there. Now, you could tell the feeling in the stadium was just changing. No, I never thought, like I said, it was never going to be easy. I didn't walk in here making it was easy. We won away at Anfield, and I said it's only another step. We won at Tottenham and played really well. It's only another step. There's been passages when we have scored goals, created a good chance first half. I think they had one, we had one before the goal. There's a lot of good in the team. It's just you just can't give basic errors away like that. And you're not against the top sides. You might get away with it sometimes in other games, but these are purring apart from the Arsenal result. They're purring. We all know that.
Match of the day, 10:30 tonight on BBC One with Alan Shearer and Jermaine Defoe. Extended highlights and all the analysis. If you want just the goals, they go up on the iPlayer from 8 o'clock. Early goal in the second half at Brighton. Which way? John Southall.
It's gone to Brighton. What a start to the second half for them. Brighton 2, Burnley 0. Yasin Ayari with time on the right of the penalty area, slotted it into the bottom left-hand corner. Long way back for Burnley now. Brighton 2, Burnley 0.
Right, to the second half at Molineux. What a first 45 minutes for the home side. Wolves 3, West Ham 0. You wonder, Michael Brown, really, what West Ham do here, because Wolves have blitzed them.
They've completely blitzed them. I mean, they started where you think, they're all right here, they're all bopping the ball around, and all of a sudden put under pressure, and they were just outrun, outfought. They were bopping them around them, creating more opportunities. There was dynamic runs from Wolves, and they just looked like they couldn't find the answer. Nuno stood in the front of that technical area, just standing, arms folded, and then when sat back down, must be thinking, can I escape this because I can't find a solution? But looks like there's a couple of changes to come. We're just waiting to see how they're going to be confirmed and who's going to make way. But he's got to find a performance, a reaction or something. Those supporters will bang after him.
And alongside Michael is a man who is now a believer, I believe.
Well, some of the Wolves fans might be believing. They'll also be thinking, where on earth has that been for most of this season? Impressive from Wolves in the first half, equally wretched from West Ham. We're looking at 3 substitutions being made, one of them actually for Wolves. So the Brazilian midfielder Andre is coming on for João Gomes. Andre was suspended for the 1-1 draw against Manchester United on Tuesday. That's a straight swap into the midfield. Double change for West Ham. Bit of experience and fight and gnarliness coming on in Thomas Souček. He's coming on for Freddie Potts in the West Ham midfield. And Ezra Mayers, the 18-year-old, he's only made 3 sub-appearances in the Premier League this season. He comes on for Sunguto Magassa. So double change made by Nuno Espirito Santo. Can Wolves keep up that level of performance and belief in the second half? That's one question. Can West Ham find something to try and fight back a little bit after the break? Because if not, lots of questions to answer after the game. Without a winning 8 going into this one, 4 draws and 4 defeats. Souček immediately gets onto the ball for West Ham and starts to bring them forward. Plays it to his left to Ollie Scarles. Scarles to Somerville. Here's Mayers, gets his first touch of the game, the 18-year-old, wearing number 63 for West Ham in the claret and blue.
It's like he's copied Daniel Farke. Do you know when they were at Man City? They were 2-0 down, looked like he was nowhere to go with his lead side, and we'll go, we'll tell you what we'll do, we'll go to a back 3. Mayers just drops back in, and the 2 wider players, we see Scarles, we see Walker-Peters out on that far side, and is it that obvious? He had to do something.
Yeah. Mavropanos right-sided centre-back, Kilman in the middle, Ezra Mayers, the 18-year-old, on the left of that three, Souček now in central midfield, Walker-Peters is the right wing-back, Scarles is the left wing-back. Here's Mateusz Fernandes, stays in that number 10 role with Jarrod Bowen receiving the ball on the turn inside that Wolves penalty area. Comes back to Walker-Peters, Fernandes takes a touch, cross comes into the area, diving header away from Mosquera, volley clearance by Mateusz Mane, Arakadare with a really powerful header back towards Arias, and it's got very scruffy and nervy from Wolves at the start of the second half, and immediately you can hear some voices of concern arising around us. But Wolves comfortable in the game at the moment. Nuno Espirito Santo has made the double change. Let's see if it has a long-lasting effect on this game. Callum Wilson, the centre-forward for West Ham, with the new signing, the Brazilian striker Pablo Felipe, waiting on the bench. Lots of West Ham possession early on in the second half, playing from right to left, attacking the goal in front of that tall, towering two-tier Stan Cullis stand. Away to our left-hand side, Wolves in the old gold and black, but at the moment they are just in defensive positions inside their own half, and the ball comes across here to Mateusz Fernandes. I'll give you the Wolves team in a second as well. Walker-Peters plays infield to Bowen, pace on the pass to Souček, he switches it high and wide to the left to Somerville, controls that spinning ball with his right foot, takes it on the inside, gets an early crossing, Bowen with the overhead kick over the bar, and behind for the goal kick. Met it well, couldn't keep it down. Michael Brown. Yeah, really well worked. Finally a bit of possession, a bit of momentum from West Ham. Crossfield pass, and Somerville from the start of the whistle in the first half, to be fair, tried to make something happen, whips that ball in, an in-swinger right-footed off that left. And you go, there you go, Bowen comes central, just around that penalty spot, tries the overhead kick. It was sort of dipping in front of him. If it was a bit higher, it might have been a bit easier for him to gain the momentum for the overhead kick, gets underneath it, always rising. Talking about the great escapes in the top flight, John Murray sent me a message at half-time to remind me one, your former club, back in the early 90s, Michael, before it was the Premier League, in Division 1 under Dave Bassett, took 4 points, just 4 points from the first 16 games, won 13 of the last 22 games, and finished 12 points clear of the relegation zone. It was only 2 teams that went down then, but still, that is a remarkable turnaround in form. See, he's been feeding the stats to Chappers. That's what's been happening, hasn't he? That's why Chappers has got the belief. Yeah, the belief from Big John. He must be sat just relaxing somewhere, is he? John, yeah, twiddling his thumbs this afternoon, listening to the coverage. Holiday, as always. Well, no, he'll be prepping for Manchester City, Chelsea. He'll be there. That's our commentary at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. First commentary in the Premier League of the day tomorrow comes from Craven Cottage. Ian Dennis, Fulham, Liverpool, all the goals as they go in. Here's Scarles on the left-hand side. We're watching Wolves 3, West Ham 0. You're listening to it on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. And as we heard from John Southall right at the start of the second half here, Brighton now 2-0 up on Burnley at the Amex. Burnley starting the day on 12 points, so Wolves with a win here would close the gap on them initially to 6 if Burnley lose that game. Somerville looking for Souček, edge of the box. Now West Ham will be right for the taking on the counter-attack in this second half if Wolves can pull that off. Mateusz Fernandes plays it back to Souček. Second half so far, Michael, we played 4.5 minutes, all West Ham. All West Ham. And I've just watched Rob Edwards just look to the technical area and sort of go, right, what do we do? What do I need to change? This is the situation, but really you should just be able to relax, just believe in his team, believe in the setup. They will come out, they will get forward. But it's amazing, isn't it? There's a swing here straight away. But yeah, you have to have a reaction. I mean, just relax where you can. Jose Sarr in goal for Wolves. Their back three, Mosquera, Santiago Bueno and Krejci. Chachua and Hugo Bueno, the wing-backs. Andre now on in central midfield alongside Jean Arias. Mateusz Mane has been so impressive, the 18-year-old. His third Premier League start for the club this afternoon. Brilliant third goal for Wolves in that first half. Hwang, who scored from the penalty spot. And the giant centre-forward, Tolu Arakadare, as West Ham keep it. Scarles to Somerville, back to Scarles. Wolves have got that covered. Here's Mayers on as one of these subs at half-time for West Ham. They've worked the ball to the right-hand side of the field. Fernandes is there, plays it to Walker-Peters. Good movement from him, brings it in field, finds Bowen. Fernandes stays wide, gives it back to Bowen in the inside right channel. High floated pass into the area. Scarles jumps. That was a 50-50 really. Chachua got more on it, and the clearance down the right from Arias is blocked by Ezra Mayers. And out it goes for a throw-in to Wolves. That's some faith to show in an 18-year-old as well, isn't it? West Ham 3-0 down, chuck him into a back three, change of system.
Yeah, it's a big statement, isn't it? Or is it one from the manager to saying, look, the youngsters that have had to take the midfield area off. Freddie Potts, and then Magassa made the mistake for the penalty. I still think he was very unfortunate. He hardly really tried to commit. But now, what's next for this West Ham side?
Wang's ball forward, Mavropanos is there and deals with it. Scholes does well to keep it for West Ham, played back into central midfield. Mateus Fernandes goes scuttling his way across the halfway line, chased by Hwang, forward to Bowen. Pass was behind him, he was off balance and he couldn't keep it, and suddenly Hugo Bueno starts accelerating away down the left. Fernandes covers that well for West Ham, makes the tackle, it goes out for a throw-in to Wolves. Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Brighton 2, Burnley 0, latest scores in the Premier League. Let's check in on Brighton, in fact. John Southall.
That's all Brighton at the moment. Brighton 2, Burnley 0. A couple of chances for Haralampos Koustulas. The first from the edge of the area, straight at Dubravka. The second, sliding in 5 yards out. Just got it all wrong. Brighton 2, Burnley 0.
Earlier on today, Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 1. So Villa to within 3 points of Arsenal at the top, moving a point above Manchester City. We've got full commentary on Bournemouth against Arsenal to come. It kicks off at 5:30. That'll be followed by 6:06. Here's Krejci, left-sided centre-back for Wolves. Long, high clearance. Arakadare got up really well there. Mavropanos under pressure, nods the ball down, does well, turns away from the Wolves centre-forward and plays it across to Mayers. Michael.
Yeah, that was better from him, wasn't it? We've seen a little bit shaky under pressure, but then a bit of composure from the defender. Here they go now, Somerville.
Yeah, Somerville with speed down the left. Skulls on the outside, tries to take it inside Chatchua, who gets half a block on it. Back it comes to Somerville again. Cross is deflected, awkward one for Krejci. Stretches to clear the bouncing ball first time. Chested down by Mavropanos just inside the Wolves half. A lot of Wolves defending at the moment. A nice 3-goal cushion for them though, which they thoroughly deserve. They were absolutely rampant in the first half. Here's Bowen to Walker-Peters. But if West Ham do score early in the second half and Molineux starts to get a little bit nervous.
You know exactly, don't you? It's game on, and we all know that. But have West Ham got enough? Can they do it? They've got attacking players who can score. Real soft underbelly at this moment in time, but they've started full credit in the second half well.
Bowen cuts in from the right, cross comes in, low one, diving header behind from Andre. Corner for West Ham, and at what point, or will we see Pablo Felipe, the 22-year-old Brazilian, signed from Gil Vicente as a striking option for West Ham for the rest of this season. Areola, the West Ham keeper, is up on the halfway line. And that's because it's a West Ham corner away to our left. Kilmarnock have equalised against Hibs. Motherwell now leads St Mirren 2-0. Those 2 3:00 kickoffs in this Scottish Premiership. Corner comes in from the right, headed away at the near post. Fernandes gets there first for West Ham, finds Skulls. Another cross comes in high to the far post. Souček heads it back across goal. Goalkeeper Sarr did well, read it, saw it coming, and just caught it on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's all in green, away to our left. He slings the ball out overarm, bowling style. Brilliant throw out to Chatchua on the right, who's immediately made 30 yards up to the edge of the penalty area. Sliding challenge from Somerville, stops him for now. Chatchua running back towards the halfway line, falls over, got his legs in a tangle there, and it's been given as throw-in or free kick for Wolves. What are you giving there, Michael?
Yeah, free kick, yeah.
Foul
free kick. I think the referee was going to play advantage, but I just think his assistant really close to it said, I think it's a foul. He changed his mind. I think it was the correct decision. Somerville did really well initially, tracking all the way, and he was just chomping at the heels. Now, after that throw-in, the momentum finally changes. Wolves have an opportunity for this wide free kick. The referee just tells Somerville the distance away from it, but it's about quality now, or can he just play it inside? Is Andre a good position?
Not what a Premier League game all season, Wolves. Wolves fans just haven't tasted that feeling of victory. Here's Hwang. Free kick comes in from the right. It'll make the taste all the sweeter if that comes around 5 o'clock this afternoon. So, Wolves leading West Ham 3-0. Next break in play, we'll take you to the Vitality Stadium for the team news ahead of our next commentary, which is Bournemouth against Arsenal. Mavropanos brings the ball forward for West Ham, crosses the halfway line, finds Walker-Peters, played back here to Mateus Fernandes, very deep inside his own half. running across, trying to inject a bit of urgency into the West Ham performance. Mayers finds Scarles, that's 18-year-old to 20-year-old for West Ham. Back to Fernandez, still inside their own half and across to Kilman. Side foots a pass with his left foot to Mavropanos. Fed out to Walker-Peters on the right, looking for options ahead of him, doesn't see anything. Bowen's drifted infield here, and Wolves are quite happy to let West Ham just pass the ball around from side to side without making any real incursions. Here's Scarles on the left this time, back to Mayers again in that inside left channel. Back round it comes, Kilman across to Mavropanos. Needs something a bit different here. Wide it goes to Walker-Peters. Bowen stayed wide this time, looking for the 1-2. Wolves have won it. Krejci took it off Bowen, played to the 18-year-old for Wolves, Mane, into the feet of Hwang in the centre circle. Little 1-2 with Arias, and then Hwang turns, plays to his right and finds Mosquera. Passes straight up the middle of the pitch. Mayers makes a good challenge for West Ham. Can he turn it into something? The pass forward, intercepted by Mosquera, cleared up towards the halfway line. Fernandez is there, sees Somerville on the burst. Somerville into the box, gets the crossing, great defending. It goes behind for the West Ham corner. Let's deal with this. We'll give Vicky Sparks time to give us that team news ahead of Bournemouth Arsenal. We'll see what West Ham can do with the corner first of all.
Incredible moment a minute ago. Hwang just says he's hurt his ankle. He stops in the middle, they break through. Somerville's almost on goal. Now he's running back to defend the set piece. It's a crazy moment while they haven't got people ready. Just get yourself back in. You know you've got a knock, but you can now run back in for that. A big chance, good recovery runs. But now West Ham, this would change, wouldn't it? You got Souček who can certainly attack it.
Falkirk have taken the lead against Aberdeen in the Scottish Premiership. This is Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Corner comes in from the left, edge of the 6-yard box. Mane heads it away. Chasing back here is Scarles for West Ham. Pass back to Walker-Peters, out to the left it goes. Hwang is able to intercept that. Scarles tackles him. A lot of space here for Mateus Fernandes. Outside of his right foot, early cross, headed away to Somerville. Chests it down, couldn't quite get it into the space he wanted for the shot. Mavropanos slices it wide, behind for the goal kick. Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Let's finally get that team news. So our 5:30 commentary here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds is Bournemouth, Arsenal, and Vicky Sparks has the details.
Antoine Semenyo starts for Bournemouth as promised by Andoni Iraola, despite his expected move to Manchester City later this month. Bournemouth unchanged from the draw with Chelsea. Cook's back on the bench after missing that game with a neck injury, as is new signing Fraser Forster. Declan Rice starts for Arsenal after recovering from a knee issue that saw him miss the win over Villa. Madueke and Martinelli also come in. Saka, Trossard and Marino drop to the bench as Arsenal look to move 6 points clear at the top of the table.
Okay, a bit of a change up from Mikel Arteta then. Saka, Trossard, Marino on the bench, but that's the benefit of strengthening the squad in the summer with the likes of Madueke and Eza arriving. Arsenal starting that game on 45 points. Aston Villa have moved to 42. Manchester City on 41. They play tomorrow. And what about Hearts Livingston in the Scottish Premiership? Jane Lewis.
Well, Hearts are still leading by a goal to nil, but I tell you what, Livingston have had a couple of really good chances. At the start of the half, it should have been an equaliser for Mo Silla, but he just couldn't make contact with the ball with his head. And then just a couple of minutes ago, a brilliant save from the Hearts goalkeeper to keep out Tengi Yenga. Livingston seen more of the ball. Hearts still ahead in this one, but it's getting a little bit nervy around at these parts.
Not missing any football at Molineux at the moment. Hwang Hee-chan is down. That was the injury that Michael Brown was mentioning a couple of minutes ago. Not sure he's going to be able to continue. Jorgen Strand Larsen is being prepared for Wolves here. What about Bath Exeter in the Gallagher Premiership? That's being watched by Sarah Orchard.
50 minutes on the clock at the Rec. No score change. Bath 26, Exeter 14. Bath thought they'd gone over for a fifth try when Ben Spencer dotted down. It was actually ruled off in the end after a television match official check for blocking in the build-up for Cam Redbrath to get the final pass away. And unfortunately for Exeter, they've lost Stephen Varney after he got absolutely bulldozed by Will Muir down the left wing. So no score change. It's still Bath 26, Exeter 14.
Commentary over on Sports Extra 2. John Southall's watching Brighton-Burnley in the Premier League. John.
Where Brighton lead Burnley by 2-0. Burnley just enjoying a bit of possession at the moment, but all fairly comfortable for Brighton. Burnley have brought on Edwards, Chowner and Son, but Brighton lead by 2-0.
Well, we're seeing quite something here at Molineux this afternoon. Wolves heading towards a first Premier League win of the season. 3-0 up, half an hour to play. All the goals scored in the first half. Strand Larsen is now on for Hwang. Wilson flicks the ball round the corner looking for Somerville. Mosquera deals with that, lobs it up in the air. Strand Larsen heads it to his right. West Ham have it again. They come back to their goalkeeper, Areola, who's in a very light grey, untucked goalkeeping jumper away to our right. Black shorts, black socks with the light grey tops. Mateus Fernandes, straight pass to Somerville, who's been trying to make things happen all afternoon for West Ham. Kilman with his left foot finds Mavropanos looking for the longer ball. The run of Bowen, never going to beat Krejci that one, heads it away. Not a great first touch from Bueno, puts himself in trouble. Bowen steps in to intercept, passes to Walker-Peters on the right, still going into the penalty area. Down he goes. Ball's down by the dead ball line on the right there, cleared by Wolves, throw in West Ham.
Yeah, Walker-Peters stayed down. He thinks there's a little bit of contact to the right of that penalty area. He tries to come through a few bodies, just getting himself up now. Good play initially, but good covering runs, a little nutmeg starter of it. Yeah, but we'll see now if they're going to try and put a long throw in. They're going to just play short, but they've not got enough numbers up, West Ham.
No, trailing 3-0. Sitting in the bottom three in the Premier League, as we were saying in the first half, not been relegated from the top flight since 2011. The following season, Sam Allardyce brought them straight back up. Here's Bowen. Bowen plays back to Mateus Fernandes. They're at home against Nottingham Forest. They're 4 points behind Forest. If they lose this game and they're at home to them on Tuesday, there's a misunderstanding there. Bowen makes the run infield. Souček passes it behind him. Walker-Peters wasn't there either, and it's gone straight behind for the goal kick. And Nuno Espirito Santo at the moment, all we can see is his back, standing stock still in the shelter of the dugout beneath us here. Goal kick for Wolves, which will be taken by Jose Sarr, and their next game away to Everton on Wednesday. So again, midweek fixtures on the way in the Premier League, 8 of those on Wednesday night. Here's Mateusz Mane, keeps his footing well, edge of the box, pass to Harakadari, support on the outside, couldn't find Chakchua there. Skulls tries to bring it away, he's overrun it. Andre finds his man Hugo Bueno on the left, fans encouraging him to shoot, dummies onto the right foot, hits the shot, and Areola throws himself to his left and palms it behind for the corner to Wolves. Wolves 3, West Ham 0.
Yeah, it's really good skill, really far out, left hand side, comes in onto that right foot, just keeps travelling, thinking there's no space left. It wasn't the strongest of efforts into the far corner, but goalkeeper sees it late, good left hand away. Finally, Wolves get out, get forward, force a good save.
So, corner for Wolves. Can they find a fourth to properly put this game away? I mean, you can't see West Ham coming back from 3-0 down, but 4-0 down, absolutely no chance. In it comes. Harakadari wins the first header. Bouncing ball. Walker-Peters leaps, cushions a clearance away. Arias on the left-hand side. Little chop from him opens up the space. Cross comes in. Strand Larsen's header just wide. That'll be a goal kick for West Ham.
Yeah, it's a big chance for someone with his quality. He's got to head it into that near post. Good play initially. Left-hand side, good deep cross. He just heads it well wide, really. That should have went in the near corner.
Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Back to Brighton, John Southall.
Still Brighton 2, Burnley 0, but a bit of fight from Burnley. A Chowner header off Kodioglu, off the bar and cleared away. Brighton 2, Burnley 0.
In the Scottish Premiership, Hearts going 6 points clear as it stands. They lead Livingston 1-0. Rangers won the derby 3-1 at Celtic Park earlier on. Dundee won up in the Dundee derby at Tannadice by a goal to 0. Falkirk lead Aberdeen by a goal to 0. Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 1, Motherwell 2, St Mirren 0. Souček on the right for West Ham, looks to get the cross in, sliding block, and behind it goes for the West Ham corner. This has been a good game, actually.
Yeah, really good. Interesting second half now. Andre does very, very well. Souček driving line, tries to pull the ball across, and good sliding challenge. Set piece now, corner kick from that far side. The two hands go up. Can West Ham make this interesting?
Yeah. Nuno on the edge of the pitch now, the West Ham boss, arms crossed, watching the action, low delivery, zipped into the near post. There's 3 Wolves defenders there, never getting it past them, headed away by Bueno. They stand off Fernandes, who's allowed to drive this in from deep, too close to the goalkeeper, Sarr. Kilman jumps with Sarr, barged him, but Sarr took the catch and then clears long downfield. Mane chases, but Mayers has got the pace, has it covered, and it comes all the way through to Areola. West Ham have got to go for it to get back into the game. It's opening spaces for Wolves.
You know what, Jose Sarr catches it and he's just looking to get that sidewinder, that hip height volley all the way to the top of the pitch, and he didn't disappoint. He delivered it great. Mane again was the willing runner, just outstretched and went too far as Areola collects.
West Ham have taken a throw on the right. Souček's worked it back to Walker-Peters, just shy of the Wolves' penalty area. Clever trick, past Andre. Walker-Peters slips.
A pull, wasn't there?
I thought that was a pull. Yeah. No free kick given. West Ham fans infuriated. Andre passes out from a tight spot. Strand Larsen, good centre forward work, comes back, lays it off. Rumbles his way up the middle of the field. Wolves slow it down. No need to rush here. 21 minutes gone in the second half. 5 Live BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Michael Brown and I look like we're witnessing Wolves' first league win of the season in their 20th league game of the season. The 3 points so far have been done with draws at Spurs, Manchester United, and at home to Brighton. Arakadare can't quite get to that one. Mavropanos gets it back to Areola. Here's Kilman. Side foots a pass to Souček. Middle of the field, just in front of his own penalty area. A little nudge in the back from Mosquera on Somerville. Free kick for West Ham.
Yeah, going really tight, putting pressure on, but Mavropanos was the one. Strand Larsen passed right through the middle. He covered really well, but it's open, isn't it? You go, we go. We want. I thought it might be a little bit of build-up, but at this point now, West Ham full-backs really high, push on, take the chance. Even the 2 wide centre-backs, I feel, can go another 10-15 yards to get in quicker.
Here's Scarles for West Ham, back to Mayers. Kilman, first time pass from him to Mavropanos. Do the West Ham players out there truly believe? Walker-Peters makes a burst down the right, covered by Krejci on the turn. Takes it out wide left for Wolves. Sliding challenge on Bueno. Ball goes out for a throw-in to Wolves. Jared Bowen complains, throws both arms out wide. One of those afternoons where the manager will obviously speak after the game, and then you're looking around, Michael, in the dressing room to see which players are going to come out and speak. And so often in these situations, it has to be the leaders, it has to be the likes of Jared Bowen who've got to come out and face the music. Hibs 2-1 up away to Kilmarnock, so Kilmarnock could level that at 1-1. Hibs back in front there. Jose Sarr waits to take the free kick for Wolves. Everyone's cleared that Wolves half. They're shooting from left to right in this second half. Arakadare flicks it on. Kilman is there, scoops it away for West Ham. Andre flicks it over the head of Souček, tries to nod it down the other side. Kilman wins the next header, cleverly done by Andre to find Mane. Mane forward to Arias, wide it goes to Bueno. Bueno's cross, a leap and a block, turning his back Walker-Peters. Wolves fans hopefully appealing for a handball outside the penalty area anyway. Or is it? Or is it the referee saying hold on?
You did think it was in an unnatural position, didn't you, as it come across? We get a look now, how close was it? Ball in deep, left arm comes across, he turns away on the elbow. Might save him, mightn't it, rather than the longer side of it as it's away from him.
Elbows tight into the body, that's been checked, no penalty. Wolves still lead West Ham 3-0. And they will move up to 6 points in the Premier League table. Burnley on 12, West Ham 14, Nottingham Forest 18, just outside the bottom 3. Long throw into the penalty, bounces dangerously in the near post area. Foul in there by Krejci on Somerville, so that will be a free kick for West Ham. But they are fast running out of time here, just over 20 minutes to play. New year, new start, possibly for Wolves. Building on the 1-1 draw, the better performance as well. The second half against Liverpool at Anfield, took it into the game at Old Trafford on Tuesday night, got themselves the 1-1. Certainly took it into this game this afternoon. West Ham seeing lots of the ball in the second half, but not being able to do much with it yet. Mayers concentrates, controlling a pass that was speedily coming towards him, wide to Scarles on the left, but Wolves have got it all covered at the moment. Back it comes to Kilman. Kilman across to Mavropanos. He approaches the halfway line. Thinks about the longer ball to Bowen, goes for the shorter pass to his right to Walker-Peters. Back it comes to Mavropanos. Now he spreads the play. High one to the left, too far, over the head of Scarles. And out for a throw-in to Wolves, who lead West Ham 3-0.
No, they are the areas, the long diagonals where you try and get a 1v1, a little bit of wide play, but it was just too obvious, wasn't it? It was too late in the play. It was a sort of a lofted ball. It's got to be one of those that's drilled really low. It wasn't convincing in the setup and the belief that they could actually get away with what they're doing. Wolves are just sitting there, so okay, play in front of us.
Full commentary on the way from the Vitality Stadium. Arsenal looking to stretch that lead at the top of the Premier League table again, away to Bournemouth. Peter Banks trying to play an advantage here. Bowen was caught. Now he's given the free kick, even though Walker Peters was on the ball. Bowen is hunched up in some pain. Looks like he's holding his right ankle here. Head buried in the turf. With his team in dire straits, really. Trailing Wolves by 3-0. Krejci was the one who made the challenge.
Just goes across him and sort of the arm is towards his middle of his body. And gets caught, whether he just knocks him lower down in his limb. So he gets on, but that's the last player you want with any contact. I bet he's thinking, I might save myself for the middle of the week.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest at home on Tuesday. West Ham are going to start that game. If they lose this one, which it looks like they are, 4 points behind Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest. That will be very, very tense, taut stuff. Fernandes takes the free kick, low to the right it goes. Cut back by Somerville to Fernandes. His cross in towards the far post, punched away by Jose Sarr. Falls here to Mayers. Mayers' cross towards the right, nodded down by Wilson. Somerville looks to get on the end of it, cleared away. Wilson brings it down brilliantly as the ball drops over his shoulder. Under pressure here from Mane, trying to wriggle his way down the byline, holds off Mane, who eventually makes the tackle, and it goes behind for the corner. Wolves 3, West Ham 0. A reminder as well, final Ashes test starts tonight in Sydney. Coverage starts on Sports Extra with the Test match special team at 5 to 11. First ball bowled at 11:30 this evening. Sculls delivery looks good. Good punch away by Sarr under pressure. That was a very packed 6-yard box there. Mane's got the ball at his feet, speeding away up towards the halfway line. Presence of mind to cut inside Bowen. Arakadare heads it forward. Souček volleys it here to Bowen, who turns in the centre circle. Where are the forward options here?
There was
West Ham?
contact there, you know. Souček got pulled on the back post. He went down. The referee sort of looked and said, "You're not getting that," but there was something in it. But yeah, options now. They've got to find a goal. They've got to be more clear. We've got to see chances, shots at goal, not just passes in front.
Somerville on the left tries to take it past Mosquera, who got a toe on the ball. Says he didn't. Referee Peter Banks had a think about that one and says that is going to be a corner to West Ham, who just needs something here, a goal here.
Here it is.
To give themselves some belief. And this is what Michael was talking about. They're going back to the previous corner that came in from the right, up on the big screens inside Molineux, checking possible penalty foul. Krejci and Souček at the far post. They've cleared it. So West Ham are just going to take a corner. Trailing 3-0, heading for one of their most miserable defeats of the season. Low ball into the near post, not the best. Wilson couldn't do anything with that. It's come off his right foot and gone behind for the goal kick.
Three corners in a row. Look at the players you've got round the back post, or even one of them go and stand on the front end and hit him so he can flick it. I mean, that is as bad as it gets when you're in good chance to get something out of it. You've got ammunition on the pitch, and that type of delivery is just not acceptable. Is it worked on? Is that what's supposed to be? The first flick on the front post? What is it?
15 minutes to play in the game. It's the voice of Michael Brown, who played in the Premier League with Manchester City, Spurs, Fulham, Wigan and Portsmouth. Wolves leading West Ham 3-0. Brighton 2-0 up on Burnley. Commentary on Bournemouth Arsenal to come after Sports Report on 5 Live this evening at 5 o'clock. Souček heads it forward. Somerville got a foot in. Looked like he got ball. Mosquera's gone down holding his shin, or the bottom of his right foot. Complains about the challenge. That will be a free kick for Wolves, and it is going to feel very, very sweet indeed for them. And it was that message, first page of the programme as you open it up, Nathan Shee, who's the new interim executive chairman, saying all the right things, and saying the right things and doing the right things is completely different. But the point he was making, Michael, was we know we've let you down. We're asking a lot here for you to trust us to try and turn this around. But that's what they want, and they've got the players have had fabulous support this afternoon.
Yeah, they have. It's just what is next. They trust us, believe in us. Can they give him something now that makes it better for the remainder of this season, into next season, even if it is into the Championship, but they've got a better chance straight away. A squad you can go, yes, there's always changes, there's always a huge sacrifice when you do get relegated. And it's not there yet, but you see my point. Put them in a better position. Give them belief that over the next sort of 18 months it's going to be a lot better.
Ball's gone out for a Wolves throw, attacking position on the left, 15 minutes away plus added time. From a first win in the Premier League this season, a first win in 24 Premier League games, a first win under head coach Rob Edwards. He's frustrated his team have lost the ball in an attacking position. Chance for West Ham to get out down the left. Strand Larsen comes sprinting across to try and cover Scarles, who can't find his target with the pass forward. Chachua blocked it and Strand Larsen just launches it into the Billy Wright stand away to our left just to delay the restart play here, but the ball was still in play, so he was okay.
He's given the foul against Somerville as he's running to try and get in behind. There was a coming together, they just collided actually. He ran across his line and then that's why the ball didn't get there. He stays down, referee says free kick.
So yeah, Everton away for Wolves on Wednesday night on 5 Live. We'll be going around the grounds. It's Arsenal-Liverpool on Thursday, which you'll get updates of in 5 Live Sport as well. And then Wolves-Shrewsbury in the FA Cup third round next weekend. So the FA Cup third round starts at the end of the week. Our first commentary on 5 Live will be Wrexham against Nottingham Forest on the Friday night. But maybe Wolves fancy a little bit of a cup run, possibly.
They've got enough to think about. I think the game after is that Newcastle. So you look at the games and you sort of go, right, win this. Yeah. Just give yourself a little bit of a lift. But yeah, cup run. We did that actually with Portsmouth. We were relegated, we had points deducted, we got to the cup final and saved the season. A really brilliant ending. We just didn't have enough against Chelsea. 13
minutes left in this game. Wolves 3, West Ham 0. Long throw into the West Ham area from Mosquera. It's headed back towards him, couldn't control it. Now he's got a hold off Somerville, finds Andre, good cross in. Mavropanos flicks a header away, it bounces down in front of Mane. Mane's got Bowen right in front of him. Oh, clever little back heel, hits the shot, Areola saves, and the loose ball falls to Scarles, who's able to clear first time up towards Callum Wilson, who couldn't hold on to it for West Ham. Massive roar rings around Molineux again as Wolves start to play some football down the inside right channel. Mosquera on the charge, dummies the cross with his right foot. Arias in support. Arias up against Scarles, looking for the 1-2. Scarles slides in. That'll be a corner for Wolves. Where's this been?
Well, where's it been? It was like this in the first half, but that show of confidence, 1-2, give and go. But it was all about the skill down that left-hand side. But we're wondering where he was. He had that good of a first half, didn't he? Showed flashes. But Mane gets a chance. He sort of Cruyff turns, and it's just that, obviously, that rawness about him. Tries to not only play a pass, he tries to curl it into the far corner, and it's going. You know, he bounces in front of the goalkeeper. Listen to this support, listen to the atmosphere. Imagine if they get this win, it'll be huge for them. They've waited such a long time.
And the performance of Mateusz Mane, who continues to impress, the kind of thing that fans can cling on to, even though relegation seems inevitable.
Can they cling on to him? He doesn't want to play.
Well, that's a good point.
Save it a couple of weeks.
Corner from the right for Wolves, leading 3-0. I'll take you down the latest scorelines in the Scottish Premiership shortly as well. Delivered in from the right. Arakadare jumps, last touch came off a West Ham player. That'll be another corner for Wolves. So Dundee still 1-0 up in the derby at Tannadice, 1-0 up on Dundee United. Falkirk 1, Aberdeen 0. Hearts, the leaders, leading Livingston 1-0. If they win it, they're 6 points clear. Hibs 2-1 up at Kilmarnock. Motherwell 2, St Mirren 0. And Rangers 3-1 winners at Celtic in the lunchtime kickoff. Bueno's corner from the right. Delivery nodded down. Areola stretches, makes the save. Brave save because there were bodies all over the place trying to get on that loose ball. He holds on to it and now bowls it out underarm away to his right. Bath, Exeter in the Gallagher Premiership. Sarah Orchard.
68 minutes, it's Bath 26, Exeter 19. At one point in this fixture, Exeter were 26-0 down. They have battled back into this. Greg Fisselau with their third try, and we're in for a grandstand finish. It's a 7-point game, 68 minutes. Whoever wins goes top of the Prem.
West Ham will want a free kick, attacking position on the right. Walker Peters has gone down in front of the West Ham fans. Commentary on Bath Exeter continues on Sports Extra 2. Northampton Quins kicks off at 5:30. That'll be on Sports Extra. Brighton Burnley at the moment is over on Sports Extra. with Brighton leading Burnley 2-0. And that is the joy of the BBC Sounds app. So tomorrow afternoon at 3, Fulham-Liverpool on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. Spurs-Sunderland, Sports Extra. Everton-Brentford, full commentary, Sports Extra 2. Newcastle-Crystal Palace, Sports Extra 3. Whatever you want to listen to, it is there via the BBC Sounds app, where you'll find all the brilliant podcasts as well. Right, free kick West Ham, 10 minutes plus added time to try and find 3 goals to get something from this game, to cruelly deny Wolves the first league win of the season. That's terrible delivery again from Skulls, low, headed away, becomes a loose ball. Andre onto it for Wolves, trying to get Chachua speeding away down the right. Mayers has got pace though, gets back there for West Ham. Passes back to Areola, who's getting all the jeers from the Wolves fans as he clears with his right foot. It finds its way through to Wilson, outside of his right foot. Fernandez on the turn, knocked to the floor. Wilson keeps the ball in play. Over on the left wing now. Andre, too strong, too quick, steps in, and it goes out for a West Ham throw. Brighton-Burnley latest, John Southall.
Brighton 2, Burnley 0. Brighton, though, inches away from a third free kick. Left of the D, 22 yards out. Maxine de Kuyper with the striker. Good hit off the left-hand post. Brighton 2, Burnley 0.
Incredible noise inside Molineux this afternoon.
You see Matheus Fernandes then, right? Do you know the ball's to go in front of him? He waits to get it to feet, break the line, run forward. That's how you're going to. It's too passive. It's too obvious. Him and Callum Wilson. Then it's one takes him on. Andre gets back and says, "Oh, thank you very much." You're going to have to run. You're going to have to make something happen.
Last win for West Ham came early November at home against Burnley. It was back-to-back wins against Newcastle and Burnley. Before this one, 8 games without a win. Here's Somerville. Somerville's pass easily intercepted by Arakadare. Keeps it for Wolves. Brilliant turn by Strand Larsen. Mane's running away down the left here. Strand Larsen sees him. Mavropanos has it covered. Gets to that ball first. Shepherds it back to his goalkeeper, Alphonse Areola. So yeah, since then, for West Ham, draws at Bournemouth, Manchester United, home and away against Brighton, defeats at home to Liverpool, at home to Villa, at home to Fulham, and away against Manchester City. High ball, diagonal out to the left to Skulls. Traps it under the studs of his left boot, finds Somerville. Just sense the belief, the fight going out of West Ham a little here as time ticks away. 8 minutes plus added time to go. Chris Sutton will be taking your calls on 6:06 tonight. West Ham fans, I'm sure, as will Wolves fans, will want their say. That'll follow the commentary of Bournemouth against Arsenal. Here's Fernandes for West Ham. Side-footed pass across to Mavropanos. Forward to Bowen, laid off to Fernandes, back to Bowen. Not really going anywhere here. Kilman to Souček. Souček to the left to Skulls. Level with the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Tries to slide it down the line for Mayers, who was running forward. Cleared by Wolves into the West Ham half. No Wolves player there to chase it, but they are closing in on a momentous win for them. First win for them in the league this season. And David Müller-Wülfer is waiting to come on for Wolves. The ball is with Walker-Peters on the right. They've had loads of possession in this second half. West Ham just not really done anything with it, Michael.
No, they've not. Chances, shots at goal. Wolves have just banked up. Said okay, the pace they're at. See Somerville there, he's got caught.
Crikey, that was a swing and a miss. Well, miss of the ball by Chachua. Wild swing, has caught Somerville, who somersaulted him right in the air. Did a full turn in the air, and now he's bundled up in a heap away to our left-hand side. He's landed heavily there. Oh, it's a bad one. Yellow card straight away for Chachua. Wolves still leading West Ham 3-0. They won't want to lose Somerville.
We saw that, right in the middle of the shin. Do you know what? We've been critical of the setup, the system, certain players, performances. He's had a go. I really think he has from the first moment. He's tried to create, tried to do something with pace, tempo. Said, come on, I'm going to turn and try and do something different. But that was a nasty one there.
Just looking at Nuno Espirito Santo, still the arms folded as he walks back towards us. Comes down a couple of steps into that dugout as well. Tawanda Chiruewa is back from the African Cup of Nations.
What about this, Ali?
So he's coming on for Wolves.
What about this performance? Involving all the goals. The young kid who's at Rochdale, and look at this.
Just listen to that. that is Molineux. Thousands of Wolves fans rising as one to applaud an 18-year-old who's been sensational for Wolves this afternoon. You must watch his goal in this game on Match of the Day, BBC One at 10:30. Huge hug from Rob Edwards, a real star in the making for Wolves. West Ham free kick to come. They're trailing 3-0, and then we'll take you back to Bath Exeter in the Rugby Union. So Mateus Fernandes could hit this with his right foot. The delivery from the set pieces for West Ham this afternoon has been absolutely dire. Scarles leaves this one to Fernandes. In it comes with the right foot. That's better. Sarr punches it away. Mayers is there. He plays the ball back to Walker-Peters into the last 5 minutes of the 90 here. Fernandes first time cross with the right foot, high and hopeful, nodded down, across goal and hooked away off the goal line and behind. No, I beg your pardon, out for a throw-in to West Ham, attacking position on the left-hand side. Taken here to Fernandes. Scarles making the run beyond him. Fernandes not quite sure what to do. Has the beating of Arias here. Keeps it on the left. Another cross in with his left foot. Sarr comes to claim this. Punches this one away as well. Walker-Peters comes chasing towards it for West Ham. Plays in field here to Mavropanos. Looks for Walker-Peters again. Edge of the penalty area on the right. Low cross in. Dinked away first time. Mavropanos missed control. So let's check in then on Bath Exeter, as Mavropanos again swings a high one away to the left-hand side. Across it goes, headed out for a throw. Sarr Orchard.
75 minutes played, Bath 26, Exeter 26. Both sides now with a bonus point. Remember, Exeter were 26-0 down. They had a 20-minute red in the first half, and at the moment they are in with a shot of winning this. Incredible finish coming. Bath 26, Exeter 26.
If you want to listen to that finish, commentary is on Sports Extra 2. Tolu Arakadare coming off here to be replaced by David Muller-Wolfer. What about the performance from Wolves centre forward today, Michael? What do you make of that?
Yeah, I feel like he was a threat. I feel like he jumped on top of the centre halves at times early on. He was just heading, keeping it alive, trying to hold it up, tried to drive through the middle. He had that header, didn't he, which the goalkeeper was a really, really good save. He was unlucky not to get on the score sheet. So I think overall, I think it was a strong one. Could he do better? Yes. Does he need to create and do a little bit more? For sure.
Throwing West Ham, I think the jig is up this afternoon. They are trailing 3-0. Wolves heading for this first Premier League win of the season. Mayers for West Ham passes back to Areola, his goalkeeper. Kilmarnock 1, Hibs 3, I can see. In the Scottish Premiership, David Watson sent off for Kilmarnock in that game. So Hibs heading for a win. Mateus Fernandes, full-time scores on the way in Sports Report, of course, which follows this commentary, then into full commentary of Bournemouth against Arsenal. Pass down the right from Mavropanos, gets it back again from Thomas Souček. Infield to Mateus Fernandes. Strand Larsen is trying to hassle him out of possession. Souček receives it, plays back here to Kilman. Kilman into the feet of Somerville. Somerville's in the inside left channel here. Wide of him is Scarles, who starts to make a run beyond him. Somerville keeps it, has the pace to get past Chihuahua, and thought he was going to win a free kick for being dragged to the floor. Doesn't get the decision. That will be a goal kick for Wolves.
Yeah, I thought he might have got it actually, because why would his foot not come around to strike the ball? It's that little bit of a pull, not necessarily the catch of his leg. And the referee's just looking at the leg and saying, well, there's no contact whatsoever, but it's the nudge that knocks him off his stride, and well, that sort of summed it up, didn't it, as it ran away. No real end product. With that front three as well, Somerville, Wilson, Bowen, has to find more of an answer, but you're uphill straight away, aren't you, when you're conceding goals? Might see
Pablo Felipe in action Tuesday night at home against Nottingham Forest for West Ham. Recently signed for just over £20 million from Portuguese side Gil Vicente. Strand Larsen tries something very ambitious, bouncing ball 40 yards out, looking to lob the goalkeeper. Has hit it well wide of the target. Still Wolves 3, West Ham 0. And if you're a Wolves season ticket holder who's been here week after week, watching the performances this season, end of last season as well, you deserve all of this afternoon.
Do you know what you do? You go home and you think, that's what football's about. You have that bit of belief. The family are happy when you walk in, that you're not too disappointed and miserable. You get back to work next week and it's a difference. But do you know when you look at West Ham and you buy a striker, you bring him, you put him on the bench.
Yeah.
in the situation you're in, is he not more beneficial to give him now 15 minutes? Would that not have been a thing? The game's almost done anyway. Let's have a look at him.
Yeah.
Give him a feel for it. Especially when you're on the bench.
5 minutes of added time remaining. Over the other side of the field to us where the West Ham fans are, you can see lots of blocks of yellow seats appearing because West Ham fans are disappearing into the cold night air. The full-time whistle has blown at the Amex Stadium in the Premier League this afternoon. John Southall.
Where it's finished Brighton 2, Burnley 0, all fairly comfortable this for Brighton, a goal in each half, both from the right of the area, both into the bottom left corner, first from Ruta, second from Ayari, 2 minutes after half time. Burnley then offered more, Chandler struck the post, but that second goal was decisive. Brighton's first win here since late December, or first win anywhere. Burnley 11 without a victory, Brighton 2, Burnley 0.
Well, congratulations, John. You got a few goals. You're waiting.
Couple of goals for John this afternoon. Another win for Brighton. More problems for Burnley. Real problems for West Ham. 5 minutes of added time. We played one of them. So 4 minutes of the game remaining, and they are heading to a miserable, insipid defeat here against bottom of the table Burnley. Very different for them. Full time's coming in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee have won the derby, 1-0 away to Dundee United. Motherwell 2, St Mirren 0. Can see as a full-time scoreline as well. West Ham have a free kick over on the right, about 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline. Fernandes and Scarl stand over the ball again. The whistle's already blown. 3 minutes of this game remaining. Fernandes holds his left arm in the air. He'll strike it with his right foot. In it comes. Kilman heads it across the penalty area. Souček takes it on the turn. Tumbles to the ground. Nothing given there. Mayers plays another ball back into the box. Oh, that's deflected. Kilman shot over the bar. And it goes behind for the corner to West Ham. Wolves 3, West Ham 0.
Oh, another chance, wasn't it? Just trying to do something different, try and find a way through. It's never really been anything that'll convince you, but now can we end on something for these fans from West Ham?
Great noise from the Wolves fans still inside Molineux. Deeper corner this time towards the far post, and Sarr jumps backwards, catches it with both hands and flops onto the floor. Wolves moments away from a first Premier League win of the season. Full time at Bath in the rugby. Sarah Orchard.
An incredible finish by Bath. They dive for the line on 79 minutes. Conversion is also good through Russell. It finishes with Bath going top of the Prem. Final score, Bath 33, Exeter 26.
Falkirk have beaten Aberdeen 1-0. Hibs have won 3-1 at Kilmarnock, and we'll get details on Hearts 1, Livingston 0. That is all over. Hearts are 6 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership after Rangers 3-1 win against Celtic earlier on. Rangers and Celtic now both level on points, and the olays you can hear are because Wolves are knocking it around for fun with 2 minutes to play in this game, pinging passes around inside the West Ham half. Chat Chua finds Chiruewa across to Andre, making fun of West Ham really here. Mosquera's nearly lost it. That got the slight groans from the Wolves fans. Now they've got it back. Sarr thumps it upfield. Great touch by Strand Larsen. Offside flag goes up. That's a shame, because that pass wasn't aimed at him. He just whistled into his chest, brought it down, turned, looked to get the attackers on the move. That'll be a free kick for West Ham. What an afternoon for Wolves. Utter misery for West Ham. Let's get the full time then at Tynecastle. Jane Lewis.
Yes, a happy new year for Hearts and their fans. A win over Livingston, and they are now 6 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Livy made life tough for Hearts in the second half. They had a couple of chances, but Hearts weathered the storm, and that sole goal in the first half from Craig Hackett, a brilliant header, proved a big one. It finished here Hearts 1, Livingston 0.
And we have 1 minute left at Molineux. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Quite an afternoon for Wolves, leading West Ham by 3 goals to 0. What do the stats say, Michael?
Just looking at it, obviously the possession stats are in West Ham's favour because of the second half where they come out, try to control it, but they've run less than Wolves. They've not sprinted as much as Wolves. They've not had a shot on target. Had 5 shots. Wolves had 11 to 8 shots on target. I think it tells you overall, doesn't it? In territory, in areas, been miles off it, haven't they? You can have the ball. It's about sprinting, it's about desire, it's about running in behind and making things happen. This has been a really, really poor day for us.
Listen to that roar at Molineux. New year, new start for Wolves. They've thumped West Ham by 3 goals to 0. All the goals coming in the first half. The last of those from 18-year-old Mateusz Mane was very special, and the body language from both sets of players very, very different here, because I can see the Wolves players going round, big smiles on their faces, celebrating with the fans, embracing each other. Thomas Souček for West Ham, there's an example, stands just looking vacantly into the distance, both hands on his hips. West Ham in the bottom 3 without a win in 9 games. They've been trounced this afternoon, Michael Brown.
Yeah, it's full credit to Wolves. We did feel like it could be their day, and it was. And it was that youngster, Mateusz Mane, who did everything about what a young player or somebody wants to go into this game. Run behind, make things happen, be brave, take the game on. All for all the quality and experience West Ham have. They didn't do that today. And even at the end, Nuno escaped down the tunnel, complete custard pie, to Rob Edwards looking on, saying, "Where have you gone?" His team were lacklustre, they were nowhere near. Huge problems, and where do they go now?
Well, if this afternoon was a big game for West Ham, Tuesday night even bigger. At home against Nottingham Forest, both teams have lost today. West Ham in the bottom 3, Nottingham Forest the closest team to them, and West Ham are 4 points behind them. But they're going to need to find something. They offered very, very little this afternoon, had plenty of the ball in the second half, never looked like scoring. We must give the final word to Wolves here at Molineux, because their players as a unit, as a team, have moved down to the penalty area away to our right and are standing applauding those Wolves fans as they do exactly the same to them. They're loving it. Rob Edwards has his first win as the Wolves head coach. They're up to 6 points, and they've beaten West Ham by 3 goals to 0.